Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. Think of all that time. Those hours no one else every sprint in the summer. Every wait in the winter. Every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering, is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time.
Seems like no nonsense guy. Like
re-emphasize that for the Saints fans out there on TikTok. Caveman, what did you just say?
The rebuild starts right now. Marshawn Lattimore's gone, so the defense, like we're not getting any better.
Looking to get it into Smith. What a pass! Got Dave! Wardell Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball in.
A career year, and like you have you have the best quarterback in the league, arguably the best wide receiver in the league, and you've got the best edge rusher in terms of total sacks this season. And you're 4-7, and your playoff chances are hanging on by it.
As true as day is night, my friend. Death, taxes, and the Chicago Bears losing to the Green Bay Packers. It's what it is. It's what it's always going to be.
Let's make it interesting.
We're making it interesting. Come on. Give us the freaking home team. We'll take it.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Put him in there.
This knocked me off, though.
Who the heck is that guy?
Deflected good, help defense from the Warriors. Oh, what a pass! And Kuminga throws it down! This could be the pass of the year so far. You might watch every game the rest of the season in the NBA.
Mr. Announcer guy. So don't you go saying that you're never going to see that.
You're such a hater.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle on Military Broadcast Radio. Caveman to my left, Mercury HG to my right.
It's about that time, everyone.
AFC, NFC Championship games. We have all the breakdowns. It's a Monday football frenzy for you. MBR. Well, boys, death and
Let's all
taxes and the
just-
Kansas City Chiefs winning the AFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl.
Do we have a moment of silence, boys,
Moment of silence.
for the Bills? Mainly for Josh Allen.
Moment of silence
Yeah.
for Josh Allen.
They just can't get over the hump.
Yeah. I mean, this has been how many games now in the playoffs?
Fourth time in a row that
Okay.
they've lost
Yeah,
to them
thank
in
you,
the
Mercury.
playoffs.
I mean, something I hate and I love that you had that just ready to go off the top of your head. It's like he already knew it. We do our research over here at
Yeah, we
MDR.
do.
Something has to change. Like heads have to roll. Sean
Yeah.
McDermott, the Bills watched Marv Levy just waste a quarterback away in the 90s. I don't think they can make the same mistake twice with this head coach. You get out coached like that. You're super conservative. Why did it come down to that fourth down? We have no idea. We'll get into all that a little bit later. But man, super reaction just watching it, dude. Like the Bills
Something's got to change. in
Something's got
Buffalo.
to change, dude.
You cannot get past Kansas City in the postseason.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all that's standing in your way. Like right now, I think like they go toe to toe with any other team. They can probably beat them and go to the Super Bowl, but they just can't beat the Chiefs in the playoffs.
I've seen some guys on Twitter who were on
4 times in a row now. So
and like Julian Edelman, like our dynasty versus theirs dynasty. The Patriots are whitewashing.
Easily
I saw Hines Ward.
got him.
I saw Hines Ward on Twitter. Shout out Hines Ward. Talking about the Steelers when they had Troy Polamalu and all those guys. Ben Roethlisberger. Not even.
That's
It's
even.
not. It's a 40-point
Right.
bludgeoning. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? So, they're like, well, like, why do we have to continuously just let the NFL and how from the top down of these organizations, there has to be conversations in the offseason about how some of these games are going to be played because these players are very prideful. And I just don't see any pride on the football field, dude. Like, at what point Patrick Mahomes is like making moves on the sideline, like trying not to get hit and like flailing around. And then like when he does get hit, they're helping him up off the ground. You don't like, where's the competitive, like, I want to beat you type mentality with some of these teams where it's just so
Right.
soft football, dude. There has to be conversations of how they want these games to be played to protect the players. It's just what it is.
Yeah, I guess so. I just don't understand. Like it's in the playoffs. It's a huge rivalry game. Like let's just hit the guy. I mean, let's get physical.
Something.
Do something. And like when like the one time where he kind of took a hit and it wasn't even a big one, then you help him up off the ground. Like don't do that. Make them come get their guy off the ground. You just
Right.
walk away. Like
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
it's the conference championship. We
Yeah.
can't be like
Slap
Out
his
here like,
hand.
and
Oh,
your
we're-
playoff rival.
right.
Yeah.
We're playing nice. We're acting like we're friends. Like
They want to.
you
They
can't do that.
Like
Not
Patrick
even like a
Mahomes wants to
fake.
take your soul, like so he plays into it.
Not even like, yeah, I'll help you up. Nah, get out of here.
Yeah.
Not even like anything, nothing
Yeah,
to try to get in his
Dude.
head. You're like, I'll help you up too.
Patrick Mahomes is not in the NFL in the 90s. They would have buried him into the ground, dude, and just like,
Oh yeah, if he did all
laid
this
on
like crap he tries to do now.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I understand it. You need the game to evolve and all that, but it's like it's just so why are 4-yard slant routes and checkdowns and swing passes this like thing that can beat every single defense in the NFL for multiple years now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
The
gonna say it's
average
an
yard per
offensive
pass
league.
for Pat Mahomes yesterday was like 2.3 yards.
The play that won him the game, everybody run a slant route. Samaje P. Ryan acts like he's going to pass pro and then just leaks out for
Yeah.
a drag.
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah, at the end. On
that first down right there.
Yep.
It was
Game's
like
over.
a 3rd and 7
Yeah.
in plus territory. Everybody runs a drag. It's just one of the pick plays again.
Yeah.
The man coverage, the linebackers trying to get across everybody he's too slow to get up to him. It was a first down. Like it was
Brutal.
really just play calling too. I
Yeah.
mean, the Bills are getting just absolutely smoked.
I will say this is the
Yeah.
At least the first time
Kind
I
of sad.
I think so. This postseason that the team has won the game despite losing the turnover battle. Wasn't a ton of turnovers for the Chiefs. They just lost the one fumble, but
Yeah.
for
Right in the
first time I
quarter,
can
too.
recall that happening this postseason.
Well, I think that's also too like the weakness of some of these defenses. Like, how are we not creating more? Like, why aren't we going after the football? It's like so like, but nobody can hit anymore, so like, everything's a flag or a fine. So you can't put the crown of your helmet on the football, which creates a lot of fumbles. Last I checked.
Yeah.
But if you lower the crown of your helmet, you're going to be called for a flag.
Well, there's other ways
Don't.
like to get the football out. You got that peanut punch. A lot of teams have been really successful doing. I mean, the Eagles have been Eagles have been really good at doing that, and that's you can kind of tell that that's something that they're just like it's preached to them so much that it's ingrained in every defensive player's mind. Like, go after that football,
Yeah.
Like we'll rally and we'll make this tackle. Like let's just like somebody try to punch it out, and it works. Like they've forced more fumbles than the other team this year.
Yep.
And that's forcing all those turnovers on top of how good their secondary is. A large reason why they're going to the Super Bowl.
Rematch of Super Bowl 55.
I
can't remember.
This is what 59.
Yeah.
So that would have been 57.
57.
Yeah, 57.
It was a few years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
It was the first one that they would have won in the
yeah.
3-peat.
Spread opened
Come
up
on,
1.5
Eagles.
point underdog for the Philadelphia Eagles, plus 105 on the money line. 49.5 is the total. I mean, I got to assume that it's just going to be points galore again.
Yeah.
Everybody run. I mean, like
Probably.
the two of the most basic offenses in the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles, we'll get to that game in a second, but like 9 rushing. I mean, they're still running the ball, against the Washington Commanders. Like, I don't even think the Washington Commanders played all that bad of a game.
No.
They really did.
You know what I mean? Like, they had a shot. Like, it was like 23, 30, something like that. They were only down like 11 points. They
They
had
were only
the
down
ball.
11, yeah. It was
Yeah.
23 to
They had
34.
a whole quarter. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is a ball game, dude.
If they
And
didn't
then,
turn the
like,
ball over, they
yeah,
really would
Austin
have been in the
Eckler's
game.
sold,
later.
dude. Like, you're out of there. You're out of there.
Yep.
You know,
Hit the free agent
everybody
market
was
again.
Yeah, Brian Robinson fumble.
Welcome to Carolina, buddy.
And that pick
No kidding.
from Quinyon Mitchell is actually kind of sick.
That was a good pick.
They fought for that ball.
Yeah.
And just
I don't
rookie
know,
on
I can't-
rookie on rookie, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Did that ball hit the ground?
I mean, it's the same thing with that Worthy catch. The DB
Yeah.
had 2 hands on the ball,
I
but
think
they land on the ground.
that should have just been an
Worthy has-
incompletion.
Exactly. But it's just
Like
it's an
neither guy
offensive
really
league. It
had
goes to the
possession,
offense.
and then the ball hits the ground. Just call it incomplete. Let's redo the play.
Let's redo
you
the
know?
play. Yep.
There's those type of calls always go to the offense. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But the offense is going to run a slant route, drag, or a random swing pass. Well, they drag every other defender to
Yeah.
one side of the field.
Run them the other way. Wide open every time. Because you're not playing aggressive downhill foot. Everybody's out there thinking, oh, I got to get the. If you can hit him in the mouth, you give me that. If you're within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, I can hit you. But everybody
Yeah.
plays so far off. You know what I'm saying? Disrupt the timing of the route and you take away the Chiefs' offense.
Right.
And you're playing 10 yards off coverage.
That's the problem. Everyone comes out already playing scared against the Chiefs.
You got to just say, like, damn the torpedoes. at some
Right.
point.
Like
Yeah.
playing
Just go
conservative
out.
isn't going to work because Mahomes is so good at anticipating where somebody's going to come open and where, like, knowing where he's going to pass before anybody else, on the field can even like process that. So
Yep.
what you got to
That's
do
true.
is just stop letting the Chiefs run their routes and they're like throw that timing off.
Because it's garbage.
Jam them at the line. You know what?
Because it's garbage.
If you're getting burned early, yeah, switch it up. Maybe go conservative or change
Very
your
quietly in the background.
change it very, change up your plan of attack. But you got to come out and just get physical and just aggressive with them. Don't don't let these receivers and tight ends just run around and let Mahomes, extend plays.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. I know.
Easier said than done for sure. And it's easy to like hindsight, but it's like, and being a fan watching these games, it's just one of those things to me where I'm like, back in the early day, like when I was in high school, there used to be a quote, hit first, ask questions later. And there's no more of that. You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, I'd rather hit this guy, get a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty than give up a 25-yard first down catch on 3rd and 5 on a slant route. I'd rather just blow the guy up and make that guy think about it.
Right. Next time he tries that coming across the middle, alligator arms,
exactly.
He's gonna
these guys make business decisions, but you got to force them into that. Yep. If it can just be a finesse football game,
that's
nobody's
again where
out there worried about nothing.
Do it early, where you can kind of
pay the dividends in the first quarter. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's
the
what
first,
I mean.
Early second quarters.
Yeah. And I'm not trying, and I'm not saying take your helmet off and swing it at the guy, like shout out Myles Garrett, but just play a different brand of football than everybody else.
Exactly.
Hey, maybe let's not play quarters coverage on 4th and 4 when our season's on the line, and you got 3 safeties playing 15 yards off the line of scrimmage when they're throwing a check down. They're not throwing it deep.
Like, that's the other thing is all these teams that play Kansas City still love to play the 2 high safeties.
They love it, dude.
It's like they don't have Tyreek Hill. They're not explosive like this anymore. Bring all 11 guys down the line.
Patrick Mahomes has a mediocre arm.
I don't care. Right. It's not the same.
He's not throwing the ball on time deep down the middle of the field.
Right. I mean,
it's a whole baseball windup watching that guy throw the football now.
When they do, they had like such minimal explosive plays in the passing game this year.
Yeah.
Where like it was a throw down the field. I mean, they had like a bunch of like checkdowns or screens, like spring for big plays, but just in terms down the field, explosive passing, it's not there. Like, force them to try to do that.
And then Kelsey can catch a 3rd and 6 route. Okay, wide open, untouched off the line of scrimmage, and then just do like the slowest high school pirouette move, and then all of a sudden gets another 15. I'm like, there's no way. Like when I start, like he gets soon as he turns and stops his feet, and he catches the football. You used to have to run through the football because if you weren't moving when you caught the ball, you were a target. You would get blown up. And it just doesn't happen anymore.
At least not the Chiefs players. I'll see it happen to other guys. Like, we're just leveling fucking Juwan Johnson, but we're gonna not touch Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, true that.
Like what?
Yeah. It's like there's these like made guys in the mafia or something. You know what I mean? And you can't touch a made guy unless you get the approval of the bosses. Right. It's it's just there's no other way, because I watch some of these games on like Sundays in regular season, and guys do get blown up. Right. Guys do these post routes, skinny post, safety comes down, hammers it. Brian Branch makes a career on it. Shout out Detroit Lions defensive safety.
Right. I'm like, I'll see
a career on it.
I'll see you're like leveling the wide receiver that's in the middle running the slant on the Jaguars. Like that guy's getting crushed.
Oh yeah, my boy, dude, Grant DeBose.
Exactly.
Ex-Packers wide receiver.
Like Daniel Jones takes off and runs, and they have no problem lighting that dude up if he doesn't go down quick enough. But we don't do this for the Chiefs. Like, and
the Eagles.
Yeah, like, and I get like, oh yeah, we know like there's that extra whistle or something. But I'm like, who cares? Like, do it. Like, get it out of the way early. All right, if I'm a coach, like, hey. Yeah. You get like a penalty or two early in the game, like whatever, we'll figure that out. We'll climb out of there. But like I don't want these guys comfortable because they just look too comfortable.
Yeah.
In late game situations.
Way too comfortable. I mean, this is a team that has won, going on trying to win 4 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. So like, obviously Andy Reid, old, like this is an aging team. When you just know how to play football, you see what the defense is doing, and you know where they're weakest at, you just pick it apart. Just pick it apart. And that's all they did. They just picked at the scab, and it finally broke. and it started bleeding
And teams just let them do it to him all game long.
all game long.
Like they don't. They just play
jabbing
the
their way
same
down the field.
conservative, scared defense that
with no running game from the Kansas City Chiefs,
Right.
mind you.
like Kareem Hunt, 17 carries for
Absolutely.
64 yards. So,
Absolutely no. So where's it? Why aren't you just teeing? They're not running the ball on you. Send 6 guys and make him beat you deep.
simple as that.
Like it's a simple and we just nuke it. And I'm like, bro, he's just standing back there with like 3 linemen rushing him, and he's in max protect. So there's 6 blockers for 3 rushers, and I'm like,
He's fine. He's
When-
got 8 seconds back there to
and then
throw
he can
the ball.
extend, and you can't cover that long because you can't hold anybody and you can't hit anybody downfield. So then the guy just gets free, wide open, comes back to the ball, or he just checks it down.
Yep.
And I'm like, bro,
Easy.
just blitz him every single.
Just hit him.
They're like, oh well,
hit him.
you have to disguise it. And they're gonna be able to pick it up, and he knows what's coming, dude. That's the point. Every play, I'm gonna line up and I'm gonna tee off on you because you can't run the ball and you have no deep threat. My linebacker is going soon as Kelsey leaves the line of scrimmage. I'm blasting him in the mouth because that's your number one option.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna make you beat me deep with Xavier Worthy. And if you hit one on me, congratulations. But I'm going to hit you right before you throw it, and I'm going to push you to the ground every single time.
He literally.
I'm not talking about hitting
he
him later in
injured
the
his
head.
Best receiver.
Just push him down.
He injured his best receiver this year, so they're already down guys. He blew his receiver's knee out after he threw an interception.
These coaches need to play Madden, dude.
like
They-
that's
they
clear.
really need to
Andy
sit
Reid's
down.
out there playing Madden against him. He's just picking plays.
They
dude.
need to sit down and really play some Madden where you're like, okay, how do I stop this quarterback that's just finessing me the entire way downfield? You hit in Madden, what do? You hit him in the mouth. You get aggressive and you play man, you play fox dogs and you just run downhill at them.
Yep.
And you stop that. You don't play quarters coverage or a cover 3 on 3rd and 4 when you know they're checking it down anyway and they have 15 yards of free open space because you bailed out 20 yards down the field.
No other team
It's crazy.
just
to me, dude.
seems to
dumb.
have these
It's dumb.
this many wide open guys all the time.
All the time,
It's
dude.
really dumb.
Like, yeah, Mahomes is a really good quarterback, but I mean, like, heck, when
Yeah,
you
elite. Yeah.
when you're
Don't
when
get me
you're
wrong.
when you like at least
Playoffs?
12 times a game have a guy that's just standing with nobody within 10
His
yards of him.
IQ is insane.
They don't
Yeah.
even have to run to the ball.
His
They're
IQ,
just that open.
Patrick Mahomes, top 3 IQ I've ever watched in football by far.
Oh, for sure. Well,
He
that's
knows the
what
game.
makes that does that's what makes teams scared to blitz him is he's so quick at diagnosing that and like
Like
knowing
you said,
where he
easier
can,
said than done.
yeah, like knowing where
Yeah.
That whole like where he can check it down, where it can where he can go to beat that blitz.
Yeah.
And he's been a lead at that for a long time. But
Yeah.
even still, like the conservative defensive calling worked a lot better when they were, chucking 70-yard bombs to Tyreek Hill every
Yeah.
week, and like Kelsey
Right.
hadn't lost a
Prime.
major step, and he was liable to,
Dude, when he was running those routes down the seam, and then he'd break off those and he was so fast
right.
in his prime. It was like, oh yeah,
Like you
you
kind of
can't put a
had
safety on him, and you can't put a linebacker on him.
You
Can't put a
kinda had
DB on
to-
him. He'll
Some
box you.
better
You had
games
to just
watch than
play it.
this,
you had to
More
play back
exciting.
and watch him,
Watch him. Yeah.
try to keep it all in front of you, because if you let them get behind you, they were gone. But
Do
it ain't that same team, and everyone still wants to play conservative against them. And like Andy Reid is like, oh well, thanks. Like I'm one of the greatest offensive play callers we got in the game. I'm just gonna you're gonna give me all this stuff underneath. I'm gonna just take that all the way down the field, and then they get to the red zone, and it's like that's their creativity and play calling in the red zone, second to none. And
Good morning, Tracer Rounds. Good morning. Shout out.
so then you got them, they're in the red zone, and I mean they're pretty much guaranteed the touchdown almost, because they're just so creative. They get stopped down there so few times.
I thought 2025 was the year of the snake, where the snake sheds its skin, but nope. Same old snake. Do we remember when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
Yep.
I don't think any defensive coordinator has decided to watch that film
I guess
because
not.
all
That
they
must have
did,
been erased.
all they did
from
was blitz
history.
that guy. Like the
Mahomes
linebacker,
was
like they
under
didn't.
siege.
I know they had some good linebackers in Tampa Bay. They had a great team. They had a great team there and a good defensive coordinator that Bowles, their now current head coach. But dude, they didn't do anything special. They just hit Mahomes on every single play.
Yep.
And he cannot throw the ball downfield under pressure. He can throw checkdowns under pressure. He can do that really good. Really, really good. And that's where he does, knowing what your weakness, your
That's where
defense.
he shine.
That's where he shines.
That's where he shines.
Hey, let's not have 3 safeties on the field. Let's put a linebacker out here. And if he goes flat left you just blow it up.
Right. And
You just blow it up.
that's another guy that I think
I don't think
is
they have a
on the
running back
hot
that's on-
seat here in Buffalo. Brandon Bean, the GM.
Oh, totally.
Like Josh Allen carried a very mediocre team
Super
to
mediocre
the
team.
playoffs.
Yeah.
A decent defense, really
Good
just
job.
him
Good
on-
job, Josh Allen.
just
MVP?
him on the offensive line,
MVP Josh Allen.
and James Cook really on offense. I mean,
Yeah, James, dude, he played great too.
you got to put
He
together
was
a
like
team
looking
to
like freaking
essentially
Barry
beat
Sanders out there, dude.
beat the
Dude,
Chiefs.
I'm really
gosh.
impressed by that guy. Is he better than
James
prime
Cook.
Dalvin Cook? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut your point.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. James Cook,
I mean, dude, he's impressed me.
he is.
I kind of was like, oh, he's kind of like a tier 2, tier 3. I'm like, who really is this guy? Like, is Dalvin's better? But like,
He's their
watch
guy.
him, dude. He is a stud. He
He's
is
their guy.
He's a beast.
his ability when he stayed up and he scored that touchdown when he reached across. I was like, okay, I'll give
Yeah.
it to you, bro.
Because he's
In
little,
the
he
biggest
looks
game of the
small.
year,
He looks like a small guy.
he was your size
He's
caveman.
Great strength. Great freaking strength.
I like him.
Great receiver too.
That's somebody to build
Dude,
around.
He is elite catching passes out of the backfield. He's a very smart runner too. You just patient, good vision. Like,
They need a wide receiver.
They do. That's
Keon Coleman's not it, and Mari
Like-
Cooper's old.
and
Make Mac your number 2. He's
Wide
pretty
receiver.
cool,
I like him,
right?
man.
He was
Yeah.
cool. He's
He
cool.
caught a touchdown pass.
You
You
just-
catch that.
you need a
anytime
true
touchdown.
you need a
Secure
true
in the
number one
slot,
wide
solid.
receiver, and then you need some
and you
some
need
better
tight end.
pass
Dalton
rushers.
Kincaid's gone.
Yeah,
You need to that
Oh,
that
yeah.
experiment from Utah.
did not work.
It did not work.
Well, I mean, look,
Yeah.
this might have been a little bit of a prayer, but I still think Josh Allen, with all that pressure on him,
He put in the
being
only
able to
place
put that
where he
ball
could
in a
catch it.
spot where Kincaid can catch it,
Four Chiefs,
and then it just
and
drops
his
off of his
receiver
hands.
dropped it. There was 4 defenders there, and we can say today that
That was a-
Kincaid dropped that pass.
That was a pretty special throw
That's crazy.
right there. With all that pressure, I'm
You gotta
I'm
have
not
that
really
play.
too willing to blame Josh Allen on this. I know
No, I mean, what can you do?
this is a
man?
little different than
He's under siege there. I mean, shout out. I mean, that was a great blitz. You talked about a pregame
Right.
caveman.
I mean, he was making the throws on
That
third or
blitz by
fourth
McDuffie
down,
was
making
beautiful.
doing things with his legs to to pick up in big moments, pick up the yardage that they need. It doesn't
How
turn
many
the,
times
doesn't turn the
on
football
4th and
over.
1 are you gonna run the worst tush push I've ever seen in my life?
Right.
It's like, yeah, maybe they were waiting. And oh, he got screwed on the call, or he didn't get screwed on the call. It doesn't matter. Why was that the call?
Their plan is
Why were you in that position?
Their plan on the tush push is Josh Allen is 240 pounds. That's the whole plan.
And my problem is, you're going for it on 4th down. Why is your 3rd down call some exotic bull? Bro, you only need 4 yards.
I think they just ran a screen.
Thank you.
Well, they ran a screen, but they blitzed literally every single person, so it got blown up.
Chiefs being aggressive.
Amari
Holy
Cooper
crap.
just
No,
getting
when they
tripped
went
up.
for that 4th down and they got stopped, I think it should have been a first down on the off of
On the
3rd down.
pass.
'Cause, I'm pretty
yeah.
Looking at it, I mean, it looks like he lunges
And
for
he was
that line.
on the Bills sideline. I don't know how that didn't get reviewed. Cleat Blake.
Bad,
Cleat Blakeman's.
bad
officiating crew.
coaching there too.
I knew the Chiefs were going to win when that got announced, and that guy on Instagram that we follow. Dude, he's on, bro. He's like 101-14 when he
my
when he
God.
refs Patrick Mahomes games, and he's 6-6 in the playoffs. He's had 12 games. Patrick Mahomes has played in, he's been in the what now? Like this will be his 5th or 6th Super Bowl. But how has he refereed 12 games in the playoffs already against Patrick Mahomes? There's other referees.
It's a lot of other guys.
Come on.
He's
NFL
5
wants
I'm
their
not
team.
saying a lot of them are any better, but there's
Yeah.
other guys.
Yeah. I mean, he was the referee for both Super Bowls that Patrick Mahomes lost. And he was also the referee that screwed the in the regular season. Remember when the Chiefs lost to the Bills on that flag for that illegal play or whatever?
Oh,
That
yeah.
illegal pick play. He was a referee in that game too.
Oh, wait, are you talking about this year?
No, it was a few years. I think it was a couple years ago.
You're not
Remember
talking about
when
when Kelsey lateraled it to.
Yeah, that play.
Oh, that was-
flag took it back, and then Mahomes
Yeah, it
got
was because Worthy
butthurt.
was offside.
Yeah, Worthy was offsides. Yep, I forgot
That
when
play.
that was.
That was
Last year?
2 years ago. Like yeah, like
I can't remember.
No,
But-
no, that
last
wasn't
season.
Worthy. It was
It was Tony.
It was
was
Tony. Yeah,
Kadarius
Ladarius
Toney.
Tony. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney
Because
was
Worthy's a
offside.
free.
That was either
Worthy.
last year or the year before.
Yeah,
I
but
think
y'all
it
know
was
what I'm
last
saying.
year.
So
Yeah.
Clete Blakeman was the referee for that game too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know,
Now
but
I
he's also
remember.
been the referee for 2 Super Bowl champions for them. So it's like, how is this guy?
Yeah.
And then the referee in the Houston game for Kansas City, he's like 6-0 referee. It's like the Scott Foster of the NBA whenever CP3's playing. It's like, nope, you're not going to win. Dude, and that's not a coincidence. So why would we think this is a coincidence?
Exactly.
You know?
So now
Let's see. if this
I've
Super
seen
Bowl
a little
referee
interesting
count.
stat. This is just in the last, now 11 games after the AFC Championship.
Crazy.
But
Crazy.
now the Chiefs have now had 10 out of their last 11 games where they've had less penalty yardage than their opponent. Only happened to them in only one game where they had more penalty
they
yardage.
are well coached.
Right. Like
And when all your passes are quick, you don't have to hold. There's no way to have an illegal penalty. It's 3
Mhm.
yards and a check down.
I mean, I also I don't know what play this is from. I did see a still image of Mahomes, send and then the pocket and Kansas City
Yeah,
offensive lineman.
yeah.
He's beat by Ed Oliver, and Ed Oliver's just like the guy's got like his hand on his like neck,
Underneath
like
his helmet,
this.
hands to the face.
right? Like he's like choking.
And he's hooking him with his offhand. So
Yeah.
it's
He-
like 3 penalties in one.
He's
Yep.
choking him. He's got his other hand like up in the shoulder pad. There's a referee staring directly at that. No flag was thrown on that
Yeah.
play.
I mean, they got to be. A question needs to be asked. If they can communicate from the booth onto the field, how do we know they're not doing that and saying leave it? Put it psychologically in the ref's head. No,
There's got. I mean,
there's something.
they have to have. Like,
I'm not
some
saying I'm
sort
not a
of pep talk
conspiracy
or-
guy, but like there's got to be some there's something. It's not a coincidence to me. Like
mean,
they
every-
had more.
everybody
you ran a
sees it.
fake screen where your offensive linemen are 10 yards up the field already, and Mahomes is just standing back there, and then he checks it down underneath. How is that not a legal man downfield? You have 1 second off the line of scrimmage to
Right.
throw that football. They're already at the
Did-
fucking 20-yard.
Yep.
Excuse me, don't sue me. They're already at the 20-yard line going in before he even throws it. They're at the 35. This is in the second quarter. They threw that little underneath wide receiver screen in the second quarter, like 14 minutes, like their first possession in the second quarter. And I'm like, dude, how is that not a legal man downfield?
Oh,
The
it's,
freaking fat guy is out running a freaking route. Did he check in eligible? I didn't hear nothing over the TV where they always say, oh yeah, 79. They always show the ref, 79 is, is reported eligible. I didn't see no. He's out here running a curl flat.
Pretty much.
I also
What is
time
happening?
every time I watch a Chiefs game, I always notice at least 4 or 5 like false starts on them that don't ever get called.
Eagles too.
Yeah,
By a lot of false starts. He false sets every snap. They banned that in college. NFL, no, we got to keep it because that's their entire offense. If he can't false set, he gets blown past, and Jalen Hurts has no shot at,
Guess who's,
at his read option.
Guess who's crew chief for the Super Bowl?
No,
Bill Vinovich.
no, it's Chiefs again.
If you guys
Repeat's
don't
gonna
know
happen.
Bill Vinovich, infamous crew chief for the 2018 NFC Championship game,
Mm,
no call.
The no
PI.
call.
Yep.
Caveman hates that guy.
And referee for the Ravens.
If you want to apologize, Bill, you can call
Niners.
720-619-0627.
Oh,
That's
boy,
tough,
yeah.
boys. It's tough.
I'm
gonna
pretty
be
sure
fun.
Vinovich is like, or
Oh,
Mahomes is
fun.
8-0 with Vinovich in his career too. So
Terry Killens, Patrick Holt, Mark Perlman, Tom Hill, Alan Baines, Brad Freeman, and Mike Chase.
Who's the umpire?
Terry Killens?
That's who we have to look up to see what his holdings are, because that's who calls
Yep.
all the holdings.
And replay official Mike Chase.
Tough.
Line judge Mark Perlman.
And
So
the
we'll
Super Bowl
see.
crew is an all-star crew of all the other people in the officiating positions.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
showing the line. Mark Perlman has officiated quite a bit of Super Bowls already. Maybe he'll be a good line judge. We'll see.
hey,
Two
we-
teams notorious for offsides and
false starting.
false
Dude.
starts.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, there's just like, and then like when there is a flag, it's just like the most like nonchalant there's so many illegal formation penalties where it's like there's no advantage when you're calling. So it's like you're calling a lot of penalties, but you're not calling any penalties. And then at the same time, when like you're not calling penalties, like they're letting stuff go, you're not being aggressive and playing into the fact that these refs are letting everything go. It's so awkward to me, man. It's like
It really is.
It really is ass backwards football for like especially the football that I grew. I watched Sean Taylor blow up a punter in a Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
In the
that was
Pro
the
Bowl.
prime of my highlighted
Dude.
like football life experience.
He also
like,
he was headhunting a QB in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
That was it Steve Young?
Rich Gannon.
Oh, it was Rich Gannon. He just
in the Pro Bowl.
like
Rich
that-
Gannon was the
Rich-
MVP.
Rich Gannon tried to slide on the sideline. Sean Taylor
No,
wasn't having
No,
any of that.
yeah, it was Rich Gannon. Yeah,
Just crushed him.
different level. And then you had Ed Reed, man, and then
Brian
my guy-
Dawkins.
my guy, he was a cornerback for the Patriots back in those days. Ty Law, dude,
Ty Law.
dude.
Savage.
Ty Law was bro. These diva what? No, I love the DBs now. I mean, I think there's a lot of excellent defensive backs. Ty Law is a different cat. He was a different cat. He's gonna take you out of the game. He was Revis Allen before there was a Revis Allen, for sure. And like how the evolution of that position to like now it's all finesse. It's so soft. Like these DBs don't want to tackle nobody. You know, they're out here swinging their bro. The DB position when I was growing up, bro, I hate to always do that. I'm not to get off the lawn. I'm not a get off my lawn guy, but they would drop their head on you. Those little, like when you're trying to like duck underneath, they would be the dudes that you would always see like drop their face mask on top, like the back of your head. And like when you see those dudes go like face first into the ground, always would happen.
Yeah.
That's how balls get knocked out because your head suddenly jerks, your arm comes down, always gets knocked out with a guy coming down and hitting you. You know, no mas.
No more of that.
Well, I wouldn't be able to do that today.
Can't do that anymore.
You get attempted murder charges brought up on you. You hit Patrick Mahomes like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, so from that to like, and the scheme defensively, like, there's
Get
so many
locked
great
away in
old
the dungeon
defensive
at
coordinators.
Arrowhead.
That defensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, an icon in football. I always forget his name. Old guy. He was there forever. Dude, we're playing single high, one guy, no matter who it is. I mean, it also helps to have Troy Polamalu, who's probably arguably top
True.
5 safety in the history of football.
Oh, easily a top 5 safety in the history of
You
football.
know
what
what I
are we
mean?
talking about?
Oh, I mean, like there's some guys. I mean, like that's a really good position.
It is.
We'll have to do a show, where we
There's
do
a
the
lot
top,
of people.
Ronnie Lott. I don't know. There's a lot of guys.
Ronnie Lott was a demon. He might be
Ed
in my
Reed,
eyes number one. Well,
Sean Taylor. I don't know if he had it long
Crap.
enough. I would probably drop Sean Taylor. He's more infamous than
now
Hall,
that
you
I'm
know what I mean?
thinking, yeah, you know what? I did need to think on it a little bit. If
There-
I were
'cause
going to put
there's some
together
guys,
top 5
brother.
safeties,
Troy Polamalu was elite though. I'll
He
give
was.
him
Lot of
his
guys.
due.
I mean, he get like his coverage ability, or like he was just a monster when he came up to playing the run,
Totally.
and he had some like
His
crazy
IQ.
interceptions where it's just like his awareness and the ability
he
to track
started
a
to
ball.
jump over the line
Right.
at the time of the snap.
He was, and then he even like made some plays like special teams wise, like out there blocking kicks or like out in coverage. Like
rounder.
he would do whatever you
Fifth
needed
rounder.
him to.
The backup at USC.
Just a demon.
You
out
know what I
there.
mean? The back.
But yeah, there are some other guys that like Brian Dawkins is another one that
That's
comes to
another
mind.
one.
Ed
Bingo.
Reed, obviously
Yeah.
elite. I really like.
I mean, where do you
Ronnie
put Lynch? I mean, that's a two-time
John
Super Bowl.
Lynch, yeah.
That's a two-time Super Bowl champion, bub. I mean, a dog. back
Cam
then.
Chancellor, he was
Cam
another
Chancellor.
beast.
Oh, yeah.
Earl Thomas, kind of before his
I'd put
or wife
Charles Woodson.
pulled a gun on him. Charles Woodson, yeah, yeah. And he was more of that DB cornerback
two-time
safety
safety
hybrid,
defensive player of the year. How does that happen?
right?
And then would come down and play lockdown corner.
Absolutely insane.
Insane.
We'd have to, yeah, we definitely.
You
would
know,
need
and then some of
time
those
to-
older guys, you know, like I mean, there was a dude for the. Oh man, always forget his name. Is it Sharper?
Oh, Darren Sharper.
But he was the Cowboy safety for that dynasty run, and he was.
Oh, we're thinking of a
He-
different Sharper then. The Darren Sharper, he played for the Saints, like
Yeah.
like mid 2000s to early 2010s.
Yeah, he was on the Saints for our Super Bowl run.
He's the one who's in jail right now.
think so. Is he really?
I think so.
Yeah,
There was
well,
that. There, I think there was. Yeah, I think Darren Sharper is the dude who got arrested for like. Yeah, bad charges,
See.
bad stuff.
We got Jonathan Vilma back on Fox broadcast though.
I
Shout
seen
out.
that. He was on
Shout
the
out to him though.
and he was on the radio call for that Chiefs Bills game.
Mhm.
And why was there a flag on the thing? And then it just because like they were going to call an illegal play and just screw the Buffalo Bills out of if Dalton Kincaid caught that ball.
Yeah,
Because he said it. They put they clipped his thing on the radio, and they even said on the radio live, "There's a flag on the field. We see the flag on the field." And then it just like so obviously it's probably on the offense.
right.
Just
They
to
have it
screw the
thrown
Buff-
just in case.
just in case.
And then they're like, oh, he dropped it. Oh, we
Charges
don't
are
need
not
this.
good, Jimmy. Charges are not good.
Well,
The charges are
Yeah,
not good.
Darren Sharper is bad charges. I can't.
Not-
I don't even want to put him
not
on
good.
the air.
Yeah, I'm not, I just looked it up.
yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
it's really,
Oh,
Yeah.
it's bad, brother.
Yeah.
tell me how break. I didn't see
It's the worst of the worst.
it. One guy that I wanted to talk about in this game was a leading receiver for his team, Xavier Worthy, 6 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Man,
bad
could
for
you
a
guys
rookie.
imagine if the Bills had a chance to draft a guy like this? Could you imagine if they had, like, say, the 27th overall pick in last year's draft, and it like they were on the clock, and they were able to draft a guy like Xavier Worthy? Like, if you're Buffalo, you don't like you lost Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. You need a receiver. You know, let's get this guy. It was a beast out of Georgia. His speed's insane. Can catch, like, you can line him up all over the field. Kind of, you know, could be a nice slot guy while you have like Hollins and Shakir on the outside. You know, if I were the Bills and I had the 27th overall pick in last year's draft day, I would have definitely taken Xavier Worthy. I wouldn't have done something stupid like
a lot of people are
like
saying
trade it
that
to my
they
like
deserve to lose.
to my like
because of
arch
that.
nemesis in the playoffs so that they could draft him. I wouldn't do something like that.
That's a reason why Billy Bean is on
Right.
or Brandon Bean, Billy Bean, Moneyball Bean. Shout out.
Like their cap,
They also trade
the cap
for the
space for
pick
them
that
isn't
became-
great either.
Well, you could rewind the VHS tape a few more years before that, and with the 15th pick in the 2016 draft, they could have drafted Pat Mahomes and not even worried about this.
Right. And I think like
Yeah.
because I know we always hear Bears fans be like,
Andrew
"Ah, we
Fate.
could have drafted Pat Mahomes." I'm like, if Mahomes went to Chicago, his career would be significantly worse.
I don't know, man.
I
That
mean,
coaches from Kansas City on that Bears team, Khalil Mack.
yeah, but they
I
didn't
don't
have
know that defense
they
early
didn't
in
have
Chicago.
Andy Reid.
Oh, weak NFC, bro. Look at the quarterbacks in the NFC.
I'm not necessarily saying he would have been like terrible. I'm just saying would
He
we
has 2 Super Bowls.
would we be saying, you know, would he have 3
Different
Super
legacy.
Bowls being like envy or GOAT discussions now all of a sudden, you know, like probably not.
If he
I'm
has
not saying
one,
he
if
wouldn't
he
be a
has one
successful
Super Bowl in
quarterback.
Chicago, it equals 5 to Kansas City. because of the market.
That's true.
Bro, you
That's-
can make a
yeah.
play. Bro, they thought Jay Cutler was the best quarterback in the league, and he only won a playoff game for them. It's a different level in Chicago if you win there.
Yeah.
The media is so insane. The
just
fans
so
are so
starved.
worldwide. You win one in Chicago, you're getting a statue built for you.
Eating free for life
You know what I mean?
everywhere.
It's like he's in Kansas City. He's in a dynasty. He's in dynasty mode right now.
Yeah.
But like nobody, like how come his own peers don't validate him? Like nobody, no quarterback in the NFL like thinks that Patrick Mahomes is like the best quarterback in the NFL. There's
No,
like
they don't.
5 guys mentioned before you. Like when you see like these players like talk about other players in the podcast, they never bring up him. They
No, they
never
don't.
bring up Kelsey.
Nope.
They never bring up any of their offense or they're even their defensive coordinator from Kansas City. He's a dog. He kind of got the small end of the stick when the Rams were moving from St. Louis to LA, and he had, that's who draft. Everybody gives McVay credit for Aaron Donald. Sorry, Spagnuolo drafted Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Defensive guy drafted a defensive guy. Worked out pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say.
So I don't know. Like, I think if Pat Mahomes does go to Chicago, because they picked Trubisky 2 overall, or like 3 or whatever. So it's like, you could have picked Mahomes there, Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson, what he did in Houston,
Right.
I mean, they'll forgive him for what he's done in Chicago for that.
Yeah.
No question in my mind.
Well, and even all off the field issues aside, like why was Trubisky going over Deshaun Watson to begin with? Mahomes,
yeah, what?
that kind of makes a little sense to me, but like Watson was a dog at Clemson. I think
Just
they
unquestionably.
they won
Deshaun
a national
Watson won a
championship.
playoff game against Josh Allen
Yeah, and like, but he won the
with
national
Bill
championship.
O'Brien as his coach.
beat a Bama
Billy.
team that was like heavily favored over them too.
Billy B.
And you're just like, oh yeah, but now Mitch Trubisky is going to go number 2. Watson's not going to get drafted until he was like picked number 14. It was like Mahomes and Watson, who I think were definitely
Watson
the best
got
QBs.
picked before Mahomes.
Yeah, they were definitely the best QBs in that class. Went like 14, 15.
Yeah.
Who else?
That's why I say you don't need to pick your quarterback 1 overall, 2 overall, 3 overall. I mean, I know CJ Stroud probably looks all right, and Jaden Daniels looks like a goat, for in his own right for Washington, because that's another market, like big media market, a lot of fans, old NFL team. He does anything remotely decent, it's way more important in an overall scope of the NFL than
That's why the story
whatever
so
Dak
huge
Prescott is ever
for
done.
their team. Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't know. So it's just one of those things that like market and like timing of everything that matters. Like Pat Mahomes got drafted to the right place at the right time in the right situation.
He did.
With all the old quarterbacks in the AFC retiring or just being old or moving.
Yeah, they were all.
He
was
transition mode, and he
was
caught the
like one of
lightning in
the
a bottle,
first,
dude.
one of the first like sort of changing of the guard type quarterbacks. So
Yeah.
that was like him, and then Burrow and Herbert and Tua. They were like the latest, later, and then
Yeah.
Allen, Jackson. Those guys started coming into
Like a year after, something like that.
Yeah, then Jalen Hurts started showing up.
Yep.
That was just really like a changing of the guard in terms of like the elite quarterbacks.
And he got the
in
right
NFL.
coach with the
He
right
was-
mix of guys.
So
Yeah. Vets and young dudes around him. Kelsey and him get drafted in the same class together.
It was kind of similar to Brady, where like Brady, he like comes in and it's like, like the era of like Montana and Aikman and even Steve Young. That
Well, Manning was in the league. He was pretty
Yeah.
established.
but Manning was just
Brett
sort of
Favre.
getting starting to. Favre was there.
You
But-
know,
I'm
and
trying to think.
really
Jim
the
Kelly
end-
was
the
kind
end
of getting
Steve
done.
Young. Yeah, the end of Steve Young. Montana was already done.
Marino, his career
Marino
was
pretty
wrapping up.
much done. Yeah. Drew
so I
Brees
think
was young.
Elway
'cause
Elway was
I think Drew Brees was in that 2001 draft class, 2000 draft class.
Elway had just like retired
Purdue.
basically.
Yeah.
And who else are we missing here?
I mean, you had like Dante Culpepper, and then you had
Right.
like your,
That
you
guy,
had, like, your,
he wasn't that great,
like
but
Rich Gannon won the MVP in 03 with
Yeah.
John Harbaugh. You
Was
know,
that-
and Tim Brown and old Jerry Rice. That was kind of a crazy year.
That was that Raiders team, right? Yeah.
Yep.
They had a bomb defense.
That
They
was
got
the
they got
last
Tuck-
Charles
time
they
they
got
actually.
Charles Woodson. They got Tuck rolled.
Against Brady. But yeah, like that, it was sort of the similar situation where Brady, he was just
And
one
he
of those
sat behind
first.
Bledsoe.
Yeah, then Bledsoe went down with an injury, and so it was like Kurt Warner was just sort of getting started there too. But
Kurt
like
Warner.
he was just one of those like he was probably like kind of changing of the guard there, like
Totally.
Yep.
QBs, and then the same thing happened where like Mahomes comes in, like Brady's on the tail end of
Tom
his
Brady
career.
was a changing in the guard in the 6th round, pick 199. Who would have thought?
Yeah,
Tell me you need a 1st-round
Like,
quarterback.
Brady obviously hung around for a little bit and won a couple more Super Bowls, but like Manning was done. Breeze was getting towards the end of his career.
the way you
Roethlisberger
said
was
that.
nearly
That was
done. Philip Rivers,
Rivers
Matty
was a little bit
Ice
later.
was on his way to being washed.
No,
I already said Breeze, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was
Who
getting
am I thinking
there.
of? Eli was getting out there, and Eli wasn't anything like too.
Oh,
crazy.
when Mahomes got?
Yeah, but
Yeah. A-Rod
got-
was around.
A-Rod
He
was still
in-
hanging around.
Yeah. He was still solid, obviously. You know, now no, but when he was coming
Yeah.
in, yeah, he was.
But then he also
MVP.
like he got to a conference where there wasn't like another elite QB that compete with him, right?
Right.
Like the Chargers,
Yeah.
like again, like that was just before
And Bron-
Rivers left.
Yeah, and the
Rivers was
Broncos
getting out
got done
there.
with Manning already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we were in
You were
quarterback
kinda-
hell.
Yeah, quarterback.
Raiders were the
Raiders had
Raiders.
Derek
Yeah.
Carr. No, it's like
Yeah. That was when they were still in Oakland.
Yep.
That's crazy, dude.
and they
Yeah,
were
and then they-
actually kind of decent.
They were.
They're kind of
They were.
decent.
They were.
They made it when they went to the playoffs a couple of times. I
Couple
remember one
times.
year they were like
Carr broke his leg.
they were just
Yeah.
they were tied
right.
for first place, and I think they lost it just via tiebreaker to Kansas City.
Yep.
But they went 12-4 with them one year, and
Yeah, that was when he broke his leg.
yeah,
Yep.
and then they just collapsed in the postseason.
Now it's been 22 years since they won a playoff game.
That's awful, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, dude. Like, NFL's so hard, dude. Like, it is easy to pick apart like really good teams. Like, how can some of these like bad teams? And it's like, well, that's why they're bad teams. Because it's just like
Yeah.
it gets over analyzed, man. It's over like they call it analysis by paralysis, dude. It's like we gotta like dig deep and do all this. It's like you really don't. You really don't. You just it's really just evaluating talent and okay, this team does this really good. And yeah, for maybe 14 games, this guy might get, abused, but guess what this guy can do really, really good. Maybe he can play off-ball linebacker. Say the Buffalo Bills trade for Roquan Smith instead of Baltimore. Off-ball linebacker that can cover up the seam and then stop the run. I don't know. Maybe that's an important piece to maybe try to add it
Right.
because this guy
him and Matt Milano instead of just Milano.
and I don't even
back
like
there.
Milano. I think he's replaceable.
He
That
wasn't-
guy is
he,
slow as can be at linebacker.
dude, he was not
Yeah,
very
he
good in this game too.
I've never seen him be good. So when I've been told,
Well,
oh,
he
he's
made
a good
some-
linebacker,
He made a lot of plays against the Ravens.
can't
but-
use tackles as a linebacker stat anymore. When guys are getting 15 yards down the field before you tackle them, I don't care that you have a tackle stat.
Right.
Oh, it's 25
So
tackles.
track
Bro,
the
they gave
tackle.
up 19 first downs. You know?
Track the tackle based on like how much yardage before they brought him down
Yeah.
to really see how important or valuable he is. Like
He doesn't have a tackle for loss since I think they showed it. It was a long time. It'd be an exaggeration if I would have said it.
well, he was the guy that just like Kelsey just hit the slowest pirouette in the world.
Was
on
that?
him.
I thought that was. I thought
That was Milano.
I didn't see who it was. I
He-
didn't want to say.
He hit it on
and to be
Milano.
wrong.
Yeah.
They
That was
also
tough.
have Terrell Bernard, but like at the same time, both those guys could be replaceable by Roquan
I
Smith.
like their edge rusher. What's his name?
Greg Rousseau.
I like Rousseau.
He's good.
He's solid.
He's solid in the run. You can't run at him. He'll stand you up. He'll play the edge, and then he can get after the passer. I think he had both the sacks on Patrick Mahomes. I think Ed Oliver might have gotten in on on that one up the middle.
Oh, and then
It's like, where was that all game?
it was
Yeah,
this dude
seriously.
Phillips. He had one too, like Adrian Phillips or something. No,
Yeah. Oh,
Harrison
yeah,
Phillips.
yeah. Harrison Phillips. Yeah.
Dude,
he-
like that was sick.
when he walked
picked,
that center back.
he didn't walk. He picked him up. He picked the center up and threw him
Threw
into
him
Mahomes.
out.
I'm like, where was that in the first
Threw
quarter?
him away.
Dude, where was that all game?
Why didn't you just tee off on that center if you know he can be blown up like that?
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know. Like this Chiefs offensive
Load
line.
up
That's
they
the other
got.
thing that bothers me. They're really not that good. They're really
No.
susceptible on the tackles. The interior is pretty good when like they can run the ball, but like, dude, I like you'll see it on flashes where like some like a backup dude, he'll just come in there and it's just straight power and bull rush, and these guys crumble like a wet paper towel.
The Kansas City
Their
Chiefs had
center's Creed
20
Humphrey, right?
No, he's one of their guards.
He's one of their guards,
Okay.
but Humphrey had to go in there because their center got
Oh, okay. So yeah,
kind of nicked up. They were kind of
Literally.
rotating guys. The Kansas City Chiefs had 28 first downs, dude.
Yeah. They were just crazy efficient.
And they only kicked one field goal.
Yeah.
And I was right, 5 of
Oh.
6 on fourth down.
so they ran
What
that
the heck
same
was
exact
that?
play every time.
Red zone
4 of
efficiency,
6.
3 for 3. Goal to go efficiency, 3 for 3 for Buffalo. Time of possession, 30 minutes. Time of possession, 6 penalties. Fumbles, they fumbled the ball 4 times. They lost at 0.
Who? To the Chiefs?
No, the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Josh.
They
Allen.
got yeah,
They
they
had
got kicked.
227 passing yards. And
They
they had
got
32
lucky.
carries for a $147 on the ground. And you lost.
All these stats, man.
It doesn't matter.
Don't
That's
mean
why
anything.
it doesn't mean nothing. I'm like, stats are for fantasy football, dude, and
Points
sports betting.
matter. The points matter.
It's the only stat
Gotta
that they
score.
keep record of that determines the outcome of the game. Points.
Points.
Get down the
Kick-
field all you want.
Why do you know
Points and errors.
Second
It, like
second
points
quarter,
and
they
errors, very true.
decided to punt. They could have kicked a field goal.
dude, we've been watching it all year. It's all these teams putting up stats, putting up yardage, and losing games. That's been the theme of this season, I'd say, really, and that's because
For a lot of teams, man.
it's been a very run heavy year. This has not been a very pass dominant year. Passing's been kind of on the decline, and sorry about that. And so this entire season has just been limited possessions because the ball's getting run way more, that clock's getting chewed up, and every mistake you make is just amplified that much more because you just have less opportunities to rectify it. In a pass heavy game, each team might be getting 10 plus possessions, but now you're in games where you're getting only 7-8 possessions.
Right.
And
That's a good point.
you waste one of those possessions with a turnover, with a 3 and out, with a fumble, a missed field goal, whatever it might be. And, all of a sudden it's that much deeper of a hole you got to climb out of.
It's really got to
Yeah.
think. Like these are games where you're probably going to have like 7-8 possessions a team. So you're going to have less opportunity.
In the Super Bowl, each team might have the ball 5 times, like 5 possessions each. It's just how methodical both teams will be. The Eagles might get more just because they have the better ability to be explosive with Saquon, but that's all I got for the Chiefs and the Bills.
Yeah, that game
That's
was just depressing.
It's
was-
bad, man.
It was
We
depressing.
always hope the football fandom across America was hoping and praying. People want to see something different.
Do
And then when they don't, they're always going to
That's what's-
find something to just like
Tear
pull them
into.
to tear them down because Kansas City won again. It's the refs. It's this. So it's the spot. Bro, it's the Buffalo Bills organization.
It's on them.
It's on the players. It's on the players. It's on the players. They are the ones playing the game. Now, coaching does matter, but at some point, it has to fall on the players to make player decisions on the field. The Bills just didn't have a difference maker, and the Kansas City Chiefs did. And that's just what it is.
I'll say I think
Josh Allen
for
can't play defense.
for regular
you
season,
can't
no
be out there all the time.
no sport's better than football when you're talking about regular season games. But the playoffs, for me, I mean the NFL
It's
playoffs,
not even the same game.
they're like down there a little bit just because you're just seeing the same teams
Yeah.
every time. Like at least like it's like in terms of the championships, like I mean every year almost since like basically almost every year since 2000 we've had like either Brady or Mahomes
Pretty much.
in the Super Bowl. It's ridiculous. Like those guys have taken up
Sucks.
so much on the Super Bowl. Like you go
Pretty much.
you got other sports leagues. I mean, we have a lot of great parity, which I like. You know, we haven't had a team go like back to back to the finals since 2018, I think, when it was like
The Golden State had a little run there.
that was
where
like
they
the
were kinda-
third time in a row where it was like the Cavs versus the Warriors,
And
basically.
everybody and their mom hated the Warriors.
Everyone.
Exactly.
And that,
And everyone hated, you know.
And
That's
that
how
was
this
that was like
Bills
one of those
Chiefs
things where
rivalry
it was
feels.
like it was very, you know, like it was cinematic. Like it was like, oh my god, like these two Titans keep matching here, like for this clash in the championship. There was like a
Who
lot
would
of
have thought it's
storylines.
just Golden State know how to shoot threes better than everybody?
Yeah, but then after that, I mean,
That was
like,
it.
but like it went like it was Golden State. I guess went back the year after, and they lost to Toronto with Kawhi.
Kawhi Leonard.
And then it was the
Yeah,
Lakers and the
KD was
Heat.
injured.
Then it was the
Clay was
Suns and
injured.
the Bucks. Then it was the Celtics and the Warriors. Then it was the Nuggets and
Yeah.
the Heat. Then it was the Celtics and the Mavericks. And it's like, yeah, like in that time, a couple teams have gone back, but there hasn't been, you know, 4 out of the last 5 years. One
right.
team from one
That's a good
conference
point.
is there. Like
Yeah.
there's
not the
been
same thing.
Yeah. And the Dodgers in baseball have gone to a few and won a couple, obviously.
but
They
like
don't make
they
it
We've
haven't
also
done
had
any,
the Rangers in there, you know,
Yeah,
Arizona.
They don't make it
and,
every year. Dodgers
Yeah.
aren't in it.
right.
It's like
you know, Atlanta. has
Sure, they're
won a World
competitive
Series.
every year, but like they're not always going.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
yeah, we've seen a number of different teams in baseball, even in hockey. Really,
Oh, hockey. Yeah.
hockey's
there's so
tons
much.
of parity.
It's probably the sport that has the most because it has like the lowest of the cap and the floor is the highest. So like you always get players, you know,
moving around, yeah.
around and there's
Like
a
teams
lot
are
of
constantly
openness.
changing and
Because vibe matters. Like it's kind of like
just-
basketball where you have 5 guys and you
Yeah.
have to play offense and defense at the same time, and then your next 5 guys. So it's like a rotation, and there's just so many like key little roles that hockey players and hockey teams have to have, where you can kind of hide that and get away.
Yeah.
There's so many players in football, you know, 22 guys start, 11 on offense, 11 on defense. Hockey, man, like you can just get a guy who's really good at winning a board battle and he's a centerman and he can win a face-off when there's an icing and you just bring this guy on to win because puck possession is so crucial in hockey. If you do not have the puck, you are not going to win hockey games. There's teams but then you have the team like the Edmonton Oilers, right? Like they almost come back last year. They never had the puck. They only had the puck when Connor McDavid had the puck.
basically.
It's the only time they had the puck, and they still almost forced a game 7. You know, so like
they
there's
did force a game 7.
there's and they almost won. I meant to say they almost won.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like there's little roles in hockey, and there's just grind guys that can come on in the third line, get you a goal here and there. Basketball, it's kind of difficult to do that because talent in basketball is just like a different.
Very top heavy.
It's super top heavy in basketball.
I know. Bills Chiefs just feels like watching that Warriors team
Right.
play the Rockets in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Rockets are going to win 1-2 games of the series,
Yeah.
but still just get beat, and
Yeah.
the Warriors will move on
And-
and be the Western Conference champions.
And I guess to
Pretty
finish off my point here, like I guess that's why I say the NFL postseason, it just doesn't hit the same as some of these other sports leagues because it's predictable almost. It gets a little
Yeah.
like
It is a little predictable, man.
the predictability of it.
It is.
Like we all root against the Chiefs, but we're all like, I think deep down we're like, oh God, they're gonna find a way to win this game, and then it happens. Whether whether you think it's the refs or you think they're just that good, I mean, it's like it's just so predictable, and it takes away a little of that excitement of the postseason,
it really does.
and of the Super Bowl and everything. So like, Like I go into an NBA playoffs, like I'm stoked because like every NBA playoffs, I'm like, man,
better
like,
than you.
I don't know like who it's gonna be. Like this year, like no matter who makes it, I'm obviously gonna have some of the teams that I think are favorites, but I don't think like the Celtics by any means have an easy path back to the finals.
Not at
I think it's
all.
going to be a much tougher
They got
run
a
for
harder
like
road.
They're probably gonna have to play Jalen
right.
Brunson.
Yeah,
Might
you're
not
gonna
even be the 1 seed.
like
Cavs.
you're not going to be able to count on every team you
Good
play
point.
be down one of their top players and miss an entire series. You know,
Right. Or not even play the team entirely. That was probably going to beat you.
yeah,
And if Donovan Mitchell doesn't go down for the Cavs the way that he was playing at the end of last year,
exactly.
I mean,
Like-
Jason Tatum really did.
Celtics Cavs in a 7-game series right now. Both teams fully healthy. I'm taking Cavaliers.
Taking Cavaliers
They're-
in probably
yeah.
5.
I give them 6.
I think Milwaukee can beat Boston in 7 games. They're playing
No.
good basketball.
if they can stay,
Giannis is playing.
they can
at a-
stay healthy,
He's
man.
shooting better than he ever has in his career.
He
That's
is
true.
shooting pretty well. I mean,
That's true.
He's playing pretty good. 7
They
games.
might be able to do it.
I mean, Middleton just has to stick because I think he's coming off the bench and he's been pretty inconsistent. He's been turning the ball over.
Right. And another key guy like
defensively,
Bobby,
they're
I
not
think
really the
Bobby
same
Portis
thing.
would have to play,
Out of his mind.
great.
Fine.
Like
Bobby
he could.
Portis and Brooke Lopez would have to
Yeah,
lock
they-
down the
Yeah.
paint.
They're just not deep.
That's
just a
that's
small
the
market.
problem. It's
That's a
like
small
they
market.
would have to like what Milwaukee's got on their starting lineup. I mean, Giannis and Dame obviously tearing it up, and when that unit's on, they're hard to stop.
Yeah.
But 7-game series it can't. It's really tough when it falls all on just one guy, especially when you got a team that's just as deep as the Celtics.
They got so many people.
But
Just about that action, boss.
and then we go over to the West side. It's like the Mavs. I think they improved. They've definitely got a shot to get back there. But I mean, this up and coming Rockets team that's there.
West is dangerous.
Thunder.
West is going to be a bloodbath. I don't even think like that's the other thing was like there's so many good teams. The Grizzlies are back on there.
OKC
There's stuff.
fire, dude.
OKC
Thunder.
is on another level.
They don't even
and
have
Chet-
Chet Holmgren.
Chet's not even healthy, and they're still winning games. Like
Got to worry about
when they're
Jokic
healthy,
still.
oh my god, good luck.
Yeah.
Got to worry about the Joker still.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to play that guy in a 7-game series.
Well, we're-
Lakers
I
are
can't
kind of a
believe-
joke, but
I can't believe the Timberwolves really traded for Julius Randle, dude.
it seemed more like they just were getting rid of Towns than trying to
Yeah,
bring in talent.
Yeah.
Towns is way better than Julius Randle.
Right.
He's doing better.
I mean, they went
That's
for.
because Thibodeau, man, he's the big man whisperer, dude. He will make
They-
any big man.
They also got
solid.
DiVincenzo, and I think it's because they thought they needed to improve their 3-point offense. But I
That's a
mean,
good point.
I'm
He
like-
made
It's
Taj
Tibbs.
Gibson. He made
It's
Taj Gibson
Tibbs.
to the Bulls look awesome.
Isaiah Hartenstein last year.
dude, yeah,
It's Tibbs.
Tibbs
It's
is a big
he
man.
actually runs a practice. Well,
He does. He does.
NBA practices are like an hour long, and you're
Right.
getting pulled off for media halfway
yeah.
through to
Yeah.
do an interview.
These guys just
Like-
do like 5-on-5 runs. They don't play. They don't really practice.
We never get that Jimmy Butler story where he cuts the logo out of his Timberwolves shirts and goes out there without Tibbs running a real
Real
practice.
Yeah.
We'll never
He took
get
the
that.
backups and beat like all the with the ownership and GM in their offices watching. That story came out on a podcast.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the best player on that court.
We would never get that without the real practice happening right
He
there.
said he gave Towns like 35.
I believe it
I
too.
was like, oh
I wish
my
they had
God.
I wish they had some cameras there, dude.
we need the footage. It's like the Wilt 100-point game.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
never
not
see.
buying that game. And there was also a game where it was like he had like 75, 25 rebounds, 44 assists. It's like, how many points were like? Where was the defense? Who did you play? The Harlem Globetrotters, the
For real.
Philadelphia Generals, dude. What are we talking
Dude,
about?
Wilt was like the original
Played
Embiid.
the
He was like
community
the
college.
the original
see,
Embiid,
like,
I
his
think,
best
bro.
stat
Like he
line.
just would beat up on crappy teams, but then he'd run into a real big in the playoffs, i.e., Bill Russell,
yeah.
and get his ass kicked.
You
You know,
have
when
those
somebody was
stats.
actually his
He had
his
like
height
a
and you could play him.
quadruple double, and everything was over 20. And I'm like,
averaging 50 points a game.
20 blocks, 20 steals, 25 assists, 52 rebounds, and
Like he's
75
playing.
points.
He
Like,
was
what?
playing. He was playing NBA teams where like this was every guy's side gigs, you know.
Career
They had like
yeah,
a main
the
job
main
that they did
yeah, they didn't
during the week.
Yeah.
This is a team that practices for like 45
45
minutes
minutes.
at their local rec center every night, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Shows
That's funny.
basketballreference.com says his career summary stats: 30 points, 22 rebounds a game, 22.9 rebounds, so 23 rebounds a game.
There's no way.
Let's
There's
see.
no way.
I want to see his best season. He averaged 39. Oh no, here we go.
You play to win the game.
He certainly did.
His best season was 50.5 points per game
Jesus.
with 25 rebounds a game and only 2 assists. So he was
okay.
really just
So
grabbing rebounds and scoring.
I'm just gonna put the ball back up. If I get the ball, you're not gonna get it at all.
Right. He's
And if
like,
I get an assist, it's probably an accident.
I had to tie my shoe or something.
Yeah, like I hit a long hook shot and it front irons, and you're the one underneath the basket.
And he played 80 games that year too. So
Yeah.
he
Hey,
played
at least
nearly
so
every single
a
game,
little-
averaging 50
So not
points.
exactly like Embiid. He actually
He actually played.
he actually
yeah.
made it. To
That was when he was 25.
I mean, you had to
too.
back then too.
1961.
Right.
62
Like, look how many games
season.
John Stockton used to play in every year,
Oh, yeah.
plus the playoffs, and then he wouldn't take a break for nothing. But anyway, we're gonna get off the rails here. Let's hit a break, boys. It's been a
Yeah, we'll come back
it's
and
been a fun little hour.
break
We'll be
down the Eagles' dismantling of the Commanders.
We got a nice clip of sequence. We learned a new rule in football. I actually
Yeah.
got it.
Oh,
Don't let the Chiefs find out about this rule, boys.
Oh my God, they'll be the first team to have this happen. For
Yeah,
them.
dude. Like,
I
what was
swear, it's gonna be.
what was that? We're gonna get into it. All that much more coming up on FBR.
Another regular day, nobody knows. It's that time, he's coming home to them from a foreign land. He pulls up, his mama cries, looks at daddy with tears in his eyes and says, nothing feels better than this. Couple of months go by and no one sees. Something just ain't right, only wants his peace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free and put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. Oh. He gets help, but he still feels off. Sees an ad on the TV about a dog batting said, this is a man's best friend. Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. Whoa, whoa. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Good morning, MBR. Jimmy
Back.
Covers. To my right is Mercury. To my left is Caveman.
Back in the studio.
Back in the studio.
Back in
Monday
the
Football
studio.
Frenzy. We just went over the AFC Championship game. Our hearts are broken.
We ripped the
Moment of
Band-Aid
silence
off.
for Josh Allen. Rip the Band-Aid off. We're going to shoot across the NFC Championship game where the Philadelphia Eagles took down the Washington Commanders
I just took down,
in an absolute,
dismantled.
like, the game-
55 in the playoffs.
The game was close at one point,
It-
23-34.
That's
where
the
I'm
thing.
like,
The Commanders really did hang
do
in
it.
there, but all the mistakes they made just eventually became too much to mount. And then
Right.
the Eagles, 21 to nothing in the fourth quarter. That's what the Eagles outscored
Yeah.
the Commanders by, and it got out of hand
and
quick.
the Eagles also scored 2 touchdowns in the first half in like a span of like a minute,
Yeah, it was insane,
and it's still a football game.
right?
Kind of crazy, man. All the little mistakes and just stop the run, man. Make Jalen Hurts play quarterback, and you
It
will
was
win.
their biggest weakness for
I mean,
Washington.
I-
The biggest weakness.
If it's not
Hurt-
read option, if you make him stand in the pocket and be a traditional upright quarterback, he will not win a football game. He has to make it a read option running downhill game. He will not make. He made one throw in the pot, that AJ Brown 4th and 5 play down the sideline. Great throw.
Yeah, that was a great. that was a
But
good
it
throw.
was 27 read option passes in between there.
That's where the Eagles are so dangerous
It's
because
where they're dangerous. You're right.
bro, that Jalen Hurts just has to be a game manager.
That's it.
I think this was his best game in the playoffs so far,
Definitely.
for sure. 20 of 28, 246, a touchdown. Certainly better numbers than we've seen in the first 2 games. Howie Roseman deserves an executive of the year. I'm sorry. There's
Getting all
no
these
other
guys
team
on
had
the
a better
team.
offseason than the Eagles, and we are seeing it come to
Seriously.
fruition on the football field.
It's
This
happening right
team
before our eyes.
Is so good from top to bottom. All the additions on defense, on offense. I mean, the line, yeah, it's not the same without Jason Kelsey, but it really hasn't
Pretty
missed
close,
too much.
too.
Yeah.
Landon
2
Dickerson's
sacks?
not bad.
I mean, I'll say I have seen, like, even though they run the ball really well, a lot of that's on Saquon and how he sets up the blocks and then his ability to be explosive. Jurgens, sometimes he gets overpowered sometimes because he's
Yeah.
undersized as a center.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is you have a back that's so dangerous and like they just have a few elite moments a game and that can just blow it wide open. And then on the defensive side of the ball, this team doesn't give up yards. They're like the number 1 scoring defense. They
Yeah.
force tons of turnovers. They get after the quarterback really well. Howie Roseman and that
Great
Eagles
team.
front office put
All
together maybe the most complete team in the league. You look at it,
They just
kind
play
of-
like a team too.
dude.
If we
Dallas
see
Goddard
that
has
Kansas City
been
center that got blown up. He's gonna have his hands full of Jalen Carter.
Oh yeah,
Jaden Carter, Jordan Davis. Oh, they gonna be problems
all over them.
on the
all over
inside
him.
for him,
But I agree with what you're about to say about Goddard, dude. He was cooking up.
dude. He's been
Just
playing
a
his
safety
best
blanket,
football in the
dude.
postseason, man. The guy was like a you'd
7
forget he'd
catches for
even
85
exist
yards.
sometimes in the regular
Yeah.
season.
And then
He has
pops
been a
out.
beast this postseason. I think this is his first playoff game without a touchdown, but he still had 7 catches for 85 yards. And Hurts is looking for him, on second and longs, first or third downs, like all that. Like he's making catches in big.
I think
Big
he got
moments.
a run. I think he got a handoff in this.
He had
play,
2
too.
carries. He had 2 carries for 13 yards as well. Eagles, this was an all-time rushing performance. 7
Yeah, dude.
36.
touchdowns
It's
on
a
the ground.
229.
It sets an NFL record for an NFC Championship game.
I think maybe just in the game where teams had 7 rushing touchdowns.
There's been games where there's been 8 back in the day.
Okay.
For
You
an
know
NFC
what?
Championship game, the record was 5, and they just
And
blew
that
it
was
right past
probably
it.
like a regular season blowout because there were a couple of
Yeah.
games where like teams got like
the Miami,
77. put up
Miami
on them.
Dolphins also had 7 rushing touchdowns against the New England Patriots when they ran that Wildcat offense.
Okay. I was just fun last month. But everybody was going to. Dude, Will Shipley comes in, takes 4 carries for 77 yards.
Yeah.
Had that ripped
Absolutely
off that
tearing it up.
57 yarder.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts. I mean, they get the ball down to the 1 yard line. You know it's coming. You can't
It's
stop
coming,
it.
can't stop
Doesn't
it.
matter.
Of course we
Saquon
bet.
Barkley,
Yep.
15 carries, 108 yards, 3
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Can't
He only
stop
had
it.
15 carries, bro,
Yeah.
and 1 catch. Like
Dominated.
it wasn't even that much like of a Saquon game.
Didn't
He
have
just
to carry. He didn't even have to carry.
have to do nothing.
Just as a team, they were just the better team
They were.
here. Clearly,
yeah.
like I feel like without the turnovers, even like the game would have been a little closer. But the Eagles still just the better team here.
Way better.
Right.
Young team playing a veteran team that's been there and done that.
That knows what the
Knows what the
expectations
expectation
are.
is, had a little,
Like-
hiccup last year, after the year before they went to that Super Bowl against Kansas City.
Right. And it looked like they were
Last year they
right
had a
back on the
hiccup
way back.
and-
Started 10-1, just kind of collapsed.
Got a little old, got a little banged up.
Yeah.
New offensive lineman kind of comes in after Kelsey retires, got it, all that. Devonta Smith was injured last year. So they lose to Tampa Bay in the playoffs. Come back, they reset the program. They knew what they were doing. They acquired Saquon, hit the ground running.
Got it done.
Probably the best
Back in
team
it.
that I thought pretty much all year, complete, like you said, you nailed it at the beginning. Probably the most complete team in the NFL.
They were
I
hardly
thought that
talking
they
were-
about
dude,
it, too.
I know
man.
the Lions were the talk of the NFL. I know the Vikings and all this NFC North crap that I wasn't buying.
They
said
flew
Eagles are
under
tough.
the radar.
They did.
They flew under the radar.
They really did. And then
They
they played
weren't
the upstart
that's the
Washington
thing.
Commanders team.
Outside of Saquon, they're not very flashy. Everyone was like, oh, well, it's Saquon. It's because he's the flash with all those long touchdown runs. But they're the team that just like, oh yeah, sure, that like Saquon, he could rip off a touchdown at any minute if you're not careful, but they can get into a nitty-gritty dogfight. Like their defense is good enough. Like, hey, we'll like they get into a 3rd and long, they're more than happy just handing that ball off.
Yeah.
Maybe Saquon makes something happen. Maybe he doesn't. He's probably not going to fumble. You just punt it away, play field position.
Yeah.
That's a tough defense to go the length of the field on.
It is.
They're more than happy to just keep pinning you back deep.
And the thing is, you can drive on that Philly defense if you just don't turn it over.
But they're so good at forcing those turnovers.
Jaden Daniels got whatever he wanted.
He did for the most part, yeah.
I mean, he could. They were going up and down the field whenever they wanted to. But then the turnover. I mean, you just can't turn the ball over that many times and
Yeah.
think you're going to go on the road and win a game in the playoffs. It's just not going to happen.
And Jaden Daniels threw 48 passes. So
And he had like
48
about
48
2
attempts.
something passing and 3 touchdowns.
255 touchdown. Got sacked 3 times.
That's not too bad.
Really not bad. They were still getting down the field.
You just don't.
They
turn
had
the
no
ball
run
over.
game.
I mean, Eckler
The real
turned it
issue.
over.
But
It
Brian
was
Robinson
all-
Jr. with 36
Dude, they had 2
rushing
fumbles after
yards,
they
too.
acquired a first down.
Yeah.
Protect the ball. They were only down 11. They're driving. They got a first down run. Yeah, you scoop that ball off the ground. Just stay down. Just stay down, Eckler.
Don't get back up.
Don't get back up. You know they're going to try to rip it, and it's 3-on-1.
The real
It's 3 yards. You were just trying to gain 3 more yards. Bro, you already got the first down.
I think the real turning point in this game, Eagles, they just score a touchdown. It was 14-12. Makes it 20-12. They go for 2 to try to make it a 10-point game, fail on a 2-point conversion. You're Washington. You fumble that kickoff when you had a chance before halftime to go down and make that a tie ball game.
Tie ball game.
And instead, now it's 27-12 going into
Bingo, my
halftime.
friend. Yep.
Completely
change the game.
Just change the
And especially when your quarterback is showing, I'm going to get us into field goal position every single drive. Like, they're really not that good.
He did have the one pick, but like I think that was
City
just an incredible
is going
play.
to pick apart that Nick Bond did.
You mean
That
Zach
dude
Bond?
is so Zach Bond. Yeah, he's just another variation of that linebacker from Buffalo. That's all he is, and he's shorter. I really feel bad for Philly because they're gonna get decimated with checkdowns and slant routes. When you watch Washington, just dude, they went up and down the field on them. If they just didn't turn the ball over, it's really not a close ball game. In the other direction. Because Philly, again, you still had, like, dude, you scored twice within a minute of each other, and it's still only a 10-point ball game, and they have the ball, and you have no confidence you're going to get a stop unless they mess it up. Because they really didn't do anything. It was really Washington who fumbled the ball away. You know, it wasn't like
I mean, they forced all those fumbles though.
after first downs. Just go down.
Well, I mean, it's the playoffs. You're not just going to go down and give up extra easy yards.
There's a couple
they're
where
not,
it's like, dude, you're already on the ground.
Yeah, but they're not. Yeah, they're not protecting the ball. They're just carrying it with one arm. I mean, when that defense is starting to close on you, just cover the ball, put your head down, try to power forward.
Good job, Philly taking advantage of that. But it's like, dude, it's really on Washington. Like, if you just don't beat yourself, Philly's a beatable team.
And the Washington run, a back might be what they try to go for, dude. Their leading rusher was Jaden Daniels, and
their run game really disappeared in the postseason.
99
good
total
defensive line by
yards.
Philly.
It is.
It's a very good, but I mean, even against the Bucks and the Lions, they couldn't run.
Yeah,
the
they
ball
really could. You're right.
At all.
Yeah,
and it was to the point you're like, when are they just going to stop giving the ball to these guys and just?
I think you keep Robinson. I think Eckler can go.
Yeah, Eckler's gone.
Robinson had some flashes.
He did.
Yeah,
he's coming. I think he's like a second-year player.
I think he might have been playing through an injury too.
Yeah, he got shot in the offseason.
That was his rookie year.
Was that last year?
Yeah, I think that was
because this is only his second year in the league.
Yeah, it was the year before.
Okay, it was the year before. Okay, I thought it was this year.
Yeah,
so get someone new with Brian Robinson. I think that team gets.
He's like the power guy. I like a good downhill runner.
Catches the ball in the backfield pretty good.
Yeah, if you guys find like a speed guy, sometimes like teams they like. It's okay if you don't have like a guy like Saquon, like or Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, like
right. I see what
if you can have two backs, one for power, one for speed, that'll work out fine. You just gotta rotate through them all.
Dan Quinn, not a bad coach.
No, for real,
he's a good coach. He has a
Cliff
great
Kingsbury,
playoff
not
record.
bad.
This was only his third playoff loss. He's like 7-3.
Yeah,
he's pretty good in the playoffs.
They
Washington
really
4 of
going
6
up and down the field on them.
Yeah,
I had 350 total yards. Philly, their best offensive game in the postseason. They had 460 total yards. It helps when you can rush for over 200 yards.
Yeah, that helps you a lot.
That's when you rush for 230.
They still had 25 first downs. Philadelphia only had 28.
Like they're right in there if they don't
play. Take away a couple. That long touchdown.
Immediately.
AJ Brown,
like you stop that, you don't turn it over. That's a 14-point swing the other way. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, congrats to Philly. I mean, you're in the Super Bowl. I mean, I know we're all going to be going for. I'm going for Philly.
Yeah, I'd rather. I mean, like, because I
like Jalen Hurts.
Saquon's probably not going to win MVP, so maybe he can win Super Bowl
MVP. Yeah. There you go. I like that thinking right there.
Hoping for another 55-point game from them too. That'll help ensure a win if they can score 55 points.
No kidding, brother.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Rush for 230 yards,
bro.
Yeah.
Keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline.
I'm going to be a little interested because Washington was missing what's Payne, whatever his first name is.
Yep. Darren
which
Payne. And you pair
certainly
him,
helps. Like
you pair him with my guy in the middle there that was playing in that game for Washington.
Jonathan Allen.
Yeah. Those Alabama boys in the middle, man.
Might have been a different story because it's like, I mean, it's just going to be interesting to see how like Juergens, is it Mailata? Is he the guard next to him or? Is he the
offensive line?
I think Mailata's the tackle.
Mailata's a tackle.
Yeah.
It's Mailata, so he's a tackle. Who are the two guards?
Dickerson,
and what's the guy on the other the right guard? No, Juergens is the center. He's number 71. Dude, I cannot remember his name.
Yeah.
I
can't remember his name either. I know you're talking about that.
But yeah, a lot of like Philly's offensive success, I think, is going to fall on them and how they handle Chris Jones and that Chiefs defensive line, like Jones in particular. But you've got Wharton in the middle there.
Karlaftis on the edge.
Karlaftis.
You never
Dana.
know when a freaking corner blitz is coming out of nowhere.
No
Can,
kidding.
like,
Be on the last play of the game.
They're gonna
pretty
have
much,
like
too.
here's the thing, they're gonna have to win at the point of attack on these defensive linemen.
Spagnuolo is going to make Jalen Hurts play
Right.
quarterback.
I mean, you're gonna need to be able
It's gonna be
to.
tough.
Here's the thing, like you're
be
gonna
tough.
have to be able to win these double teams early and then get to the second level on these linebackers because they have
Yeah.
some guys that are elite against the run. Nick
Yeah.
Bolton, Drew Tranquil,
Yeah, if he's in coverage, man,
God.
that guy's barbecue chicken. too.
somebody else that they got there too. That just I'm blanking on the names this one, but
It's
another
it's
linebacker
so much
there.
scheme there in case.
Leo Chanel.
Oh, Leo Chanel.
Those
yeah.
guys, like if you're
Good
if you're not getting a hand on them, they're gonna blow your running plays up. I don't care how good Saquon is. Like they're very sure tacklers. Coverage, but like against the run, those guys are a problem if you're not getting hands and bodies on them. Like you can't just like you have to fully engage them. Like if you're not in front of them, they're gonna shed that block and get the tackle. So that's the big chess match for me in the postseason there. And then Jalen Hurts, I do have some faith in him to be able to play more quarterback. I think he wasn't looking that great coming back from an injury. He was a little rusty. Then it's the postseason, so it's a little different than the regular season. But I think he's starting to find some rhythm and some
honestly,
momentum.
Got to keep it
20
read
for
option.
28. I mean,
Right.
that's solid. Like I want to
I
see
think
what
three
happens if
passes
he's
in
got
the
to
pocket,
throw a
he
little
went 1
more
for 4.
passes.
In the pocket.
I like rolling him out a little bit too, like using his
Got
legs
to.
and
It's what he
basically
does
like
best.
running them away from the blitz. Like and
Yeah.
really stressing that defense. Is he going to run? Is he going to throw it? And then just if you're getting single high looks, then like I just like if you see safety come down in the box, whoever's got more room on their side of the field, Smith or Brown, just send them on the go ball and max protect because McDuffie is good and
Super good, dude.
who
He's a
I don't know,
lockdown.
I forget the name of the
He's
dude
a
on the
lockdown, man.
on the other
That's one
side,
of my favorite
but
defensive backs. He's very good.
I like him a lot too.
I think Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, whoever he's on, I think both of those guys are just, especially Brown. Brown's a lot bigger than him. Devontae Smith
Brown's
might
got
be a
the
problem.
size.
injured?
No, he's
No,
hurt.
he's
fine.
going to be
He's fine.
there. He
But-
just had a quiet game.
He's
Yeah.
slow as shit.
I'm thinking though, like if you get those options to just like mass protect and send like Brown or Smith down on
Give
a
him a
one-on-one,
chance.
He just
I like
looked
taking
so
advantage of those.
He looked so nonchalant in that Commanders game, dude.
Who
He only
Devontae
had
Smith?
4
He
catches.
he just like I don't know, man. Like I'm not convinced. I don't know. I don't know.
He
if
was
the
one of
scheme-
our
yeah.
picks
When you have
for
Saquon
anytime
running up and down the
touchdowns,
field, it's like yeah, I get it, but like I'm like I don't know. Like if he's just gonna take plays off, where he's
He
not
was
even
too
gonna run around.
chill.
Like he would like come off the line and just stand there.
The one
You know what I
play
mean?
that
Like-
the one play that he did get
Okay.
open, Jalen Hurts got sacked. He
Yeah.
he ran an out route, beat Marshawn Lattimore, but
Because that first
Jalen
half,
Hurts
man, the
stepped in
Commanders
front.
were just zone blitzing.
Yeah.
Jaden Hurt,
it was
and they were getting home, and they're like, you get 2, 3, 4, 3 and outs in a row, and you do that against Kansas City, they're not going to turn the ball over like Washington did.
Yeah, like
they're just gonna jab you.
And
down
then you're
the
not going to
field
get,
after that.
and then you're not going to get, because if Jaden Daniels can go up and down the field on you and control the clock, they'd only,
Then
dude, how many
frickin'
times,
dink and dunk simulator for
buddy,
sure.
they
is
had
gonna
like
get
1
down the
minute
field
less
on
of
you.
time of possession than Philadelphia did. You know what I mean? And Philadelphia had the ball 5 times. It was just all those explosive plays and turnovers. So it's like you do that.
the Eagles had to go have a lot of short fields.
If you do that, I mean, like Hurts, you have 2, 3 and outs against Kansas City in the second half. The game's over. They had a 7-minute long touchdown drive. You're not going to get the ball back at all in the
No.
fourth. If it's 8 minutes and they're needing a touchdown, Kansas City, you're not getting the ball back, and they have the touchdown, and you're going to lose. So it's like I don't know, man. Like that zone blitz in the first that first half, dude, the Commanders were really, and I was really shocked, especially on the offensive line. They were hanging in there. Jaden Daniels had time to throw the football. Like 3 sacks. That's not I mean, if you don't get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, it's gonna be a long day for you. Yeah, I know Carter in the middle. Yeah, you might be able to stop the run, but if you just keep those center guards in the middle and just muck it up for those big guys so they can't get pressure up the middle, it's like, dude, and you have no pass rush. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna give the ball back to Kansas City just too many times because I don't know if Hurts is gonna deliver like those downfield passes like that Kansas City makes you do. We're gonna make you throw. I mean, like that Matt Collins touchdown on it was like a 3rd and 5. Or it was like a 4th and 3 play, and they throw that touchdown to Hollins, right? It was like on a 4th down.
I think that was a 4th down. We'll see when I got it on a clip here.
So it's like, I mean, insert Patrick Mahomes into that same scenario.
Gonna be tough. Yeah, I hate to say it, but a lot of the signs are pointing to
the three-peat.
Yeah,
I think the NFL just wants it too.
I mean, the last time an NFC team
child.
got a rematch against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, they choked pretty bad.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I do have a lot like faith in Vic Fangio and the Eagles to clean up, some of those what they were doing and
I think it's gonna be a low scoring game.
Play better defensively against the Chiefs. Like again, it's another roster. I'm like, well, I mean, the Eagles are the better team just in terms of like where they stack up on paper, but that's a piece of paper doesn't
beat them. Yeah,
piece of paper doesn't determine the outcome on the field.
That's just a list of guys on a piece of paper or ESPN.com or NFL, CBS Sports. Once you line up, got the pads on, completely different game.
Totally different.
Completely different game.
I'm hoping that the Eagles will come out with a different, game plan defensively.
I want to see the Eagles just come out. I know everybody's going to be waiting for Saquon to get the first. Dude, 9-9-9 down the field, chuck it and duck it, and loosen up that defense. Even if you do
come out throwing,
it will not hurt you to go 3-and-out early against Kansas City early.
I wish the Broncos won, dude. I would have loved to see the Broncos play and just call a deep ball on 1st and 10, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Or at least something downfield to
like
make them
right,
think about
like
it.
Intermediate pass game.
Yeah,
something.
I think if you're the Eagles, you come out throwing it early and often, and then like just bring everybody up because they're going to look for that short stuff early. Like just bring
they're keying on Saquon.
Bring what's his face, CJ Gardner-Johnson. Bring him down into the box. He's that other safety, or did they have
another safety?
Okay, I wasn't sure
for
if
Philly.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they had him listed at cornerback or at safety, but
he's a safety.
No, bring him into the box. To help play on Kelsey, to play against the run. Slay, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, get up there, press those guys. Reed Blankenship. He can hang out back there as a single high safety. I got faith in that guy.
Or even him against the run, and you put CJ.
Right.
Like you could have those guys interchangeable.
I like CJ just because he's a bigger body. I think
a little bit more aggressive.
He's an aggressive, physical type of player, and he can sometimes get burnt in pass coverage. But like having him play almost more of a linebacker role
now, dude. Yeah. He's lost a step or two.
But just get up in the Chiefs' face, like make them also throw it over the top. Like don't
true that.
Like,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, don't let this.
Like let's not let them just throw check downs and screens and dink and dunk their way down the field. They're gonna score if they do that, But like get up there, don't take it, like just clog up everything short. And
in boxing,
I think if you make Mahomes hold that football for a little longer, your pass rush is gonna have a much better time getting home. Because the Broncos
have a better chance.
But they sacked Mahomes a decent amount when they played them in Arrowhead. We've seen him get sacked a good amount against like the Texans and other teams this year that like to play a lot of man coverage, like to press them a lot. They make the Chiefs hold the ball a little bit longer.
Because Quinyon Mitchell's not going to be afraid of anybody over on the Chiefs wide receiver.
Exactly.
Including Xavier Worthy.
Is that Cooper DeJean? Like you put Worthy in the slot, DeJean's going to just clamp him up. You put him outside, Worthy or Slay. Like he's smaller than all those guys. You put those, just get a body on him, jam him up there. D Hop is slow, dude. Slay can just follow D Hop wherever he goes. I like that match. Darius Slay he can keep up with DeAndre Hopkins just fine. He was doing a good job on Terry McLaurin when when he got switched on to him, unless they were like running screens or pick plays on him, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that'll just be the key. Like,
But it's
just-
going to be Y League, brother.
huh?
It's going to be a lot of Y League and your small guy versus my big guy and Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
And I'm going to box you out. And if it's 3rd and 3, it's first down.
They're gonna purposefully
If Nolan
avoid
Smith is out there,
all those matchups.
Nolan Smith needs to
are
be
gonna
rushing
be
the
what
out
are
the
we
window.
talking
He's
about?
he's a pass rusher.
I know, but they've dropped him out.
Right.
You know
They
what I
shouldn't
mean?
do that. I don't
Why?
think so.
And he was a stand-up linebacker at Georgia. And they're forced to put his hand in because he's too dang small. You
Well-
know, it's like, dude, it's
He's been
I-
another player too.
I
that-
want to make 'cause
really
you make
good
so
against the
many-
run
You make
support.
so many great points about the Philadelphia Eagles, but then it's like you look at Kansas City, bro, and I'm like,
They're just gonna avoid everything.
bro,
that we're doing.
everything
Yeah.
that you just said, it's like
They're
we're
gonna just
they're gonna have an
find
answer for it.
some way to avoid
And-
that. And
You know, the ghost of Jared McKinnon's gonna rise, and he's gonna come off the bench, and he's gonna catch these wide receiver screens as a running back at an orbit motion for every first down under the sun, and it's gonna be a guy you've never heard of doing the most obscene thing, and you're like, oh, yep, well, here's another first down. All right, 2 more minutes off the clock.
all right.
Like
Kareem,
last
Hunt,
Go get a beer.
Game-winning
Hunt's
touchdown
gonna-
in OT was McCole Hardman.
Kareem Hunt's gonna run like for 8 yards on first down and run through a bunch of arm tackles. And they're just
Yep.
gonna throw a little screen pass. you know.
Leak, Kelsey. We're getting pirouette around a slow linebacker. Shout out Zach Bond.
Right.
Like, who's a dog?
We're-
Dog against the run, physical. Absolute liability if he's in coverage.
Yeah.
But nobody. I don't know why we're not going to expose that, Commanders.
We're saying all this
There is
stuff
even a
like it's
play.
so easy.
It's
but
so no, it's not. It's incredibly hard.
There was even a play.
Styles
to
make fights.
nitpick,
Styles
but-
make fights.
Olamide Zacchaeus overpowered Zach Bond and like pushed him forward for a first down and got like 3 extra yards on the guy.
Right.
Olamide Zacchaeus, the freaking skinny body
I like
slot
Bond, but-
receiver, bro.
It's like I see. I'm like
I think he's just thriving in a defense that lets him play
lets him play
to
just
his strong
free.
suits. But here's the thing with the Chiefs.
100%.
Yeah, like your defense is great, but they're gonna see what your guys' weaknesses are, and they're just gonna relentlessly attack that. That's all they do. They just relentlessly attack your weaknesses. And then when you do make a good play, yellow laundry ends up on the turf.
Every time, dude.
So when you find
Especially if there's Bill Vinovich ref in this game, there's going to be a
Oh,
laundry on this field, brother. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And you just hope it doesn't come at the time that hurts you.
yeah.
Like I was
I'm
saying,
just
like,
glad
in boxing, man, there's styles that make fights, and these
Same-
two
yeah.
styles of these, it's the same exact recipe for both these teams to win the game
Do the
I'm
same
just
thing.
look.
on the 9th.
Taylor Swift's Eras tour is over. Hopefully, she doesn't release any new music. The hype around her can die down a bit, and the NFL will be like, okay, well, we can
Yeah, we can
stop
shut up
worrying
it a
about
little
I'd
bit.
rather have Eagles
Swifty
win.
money.
I'd rather the Eagles win.
Oh,
But I'm
for
not
sure.
really worried about.
Much rather.
Much rather.
Is it like a fan base that kind of stinks versus like an even worse fan base because of just the fact that it's a huge dynasty?
Yeah. Really though.
Bro, I saw Chiefs fans before the Bills game. They were complaining
Sucks.
about how Clete Blakeman, like road teams typically fare better than,
Yeah.
and like that, they were like, oh, Mahomes is only 6-5 in his career with Blakeman as a ref. And I'm like, you all are so spoiled that
But his
Maho-
6 wins were like the biggest 6 wins
Right.
of all time.
you're like, you
You
are
know.
so spoiled that like Mahomes has just almost a 500 record with a referee. And you're like,
Yeah.
if we lose, it's because of the
It's-
refs. Like,
it's-
or that's rich.
Right.
That's just
Awesome.
rich,
yeah,
bro.
dude. Yeah,
Love
no
to hear
kidding. Yeah. That's what I was saying. I'm like, bro, like I think it was like 6-6 that I saw or whatever with Blakeman. And it's like they go over like the losses and then they go over the wins and it's like
You're like all the
and I'm like,
losses,
oh, like,
regular season.
regular season,
Where the,
all
who
the
gives a crap?
all the like 3 Super Bowls Blakeman refed.
AFC
You know, where he
championship
just gets
games.
all the
Yeah,
calls, including the original Super Bowl that these two teams played in. That penalty on Philadelphia that gave the Kansas City Chiefs
the most ticky-tack holding call.
Clete
In
Blakeman
the
ref
world.
that game.
That was where it started, I think, was that holding call there where it's like you had a really good competitive back and forth game. I would say up until that point, I'm like, I don't think the officiating really had too much of a say in it.
No.
That was just the
At the end,
team's
it did.
talent. And then Mahomes misses that throw, and you're like, really, we're going to call that a hold.
Yeah.
Like when we've been letting them play all
game.
game. It'd be one
All
thing
game.
if they had been calling it all game. Like I can appreciate the fact where
And
I'm
it
like,
was a hold.
right. I can appreciate the fact where
It
it's like,
was a
okay,
hold.
we're not giving them any room in this game. It's just
Yeah.
it's a flag if we even see a
Yeah.
little tug.
And it's like 2 minutes, you spit the whistle,
Dude,
and you
For-
let the boys ride.
that's just where I'm like,
Tough,
I mean,
dude.
come on. Like we're going to suddenly change how we're calling this game
Yeah.
when it matters the most.
Yeah.
In the most crucial moments.
Shout out Cleet Blakeman, man. Shout out Cleet Blakeman.
Fucking Cleet Blakeman
Shout out Cleet.
and Bill Vinovich. Yeah, well,
That's
that's
Where's my
I mean,
guy
I think
at, man?
I'm
That
already
black
looking.
Ref who's the
Dude, I'm
man.
already looking towards the off season. Like I'm gonna
100%.
watch it because it's the Super Bowl. But
Of course, I'm watching.
I
it.
think either
We're in
way,
media. We gotta watch it.
even if the Eagles win, I'm not gonna feel like super gassed about that. I'll be happy that the Chiefs lost, but
Yep.
Yeah.
it's not like I'm gonna be super gassed that the Eagles
That the
won it.
Eagles
I'll be really happy for Saquon.
I'm
And
hyped for the offseason to watch a bunch of teams that are going to find a way to burn it down worse than the Saints are crumbling right now.
Yeah,
'Cause we somehow found out a way to win 5 games this year. Last year we win 8. We somehow find a way to be at least slightly better than some of the teams.
and then you lost your heart and soul.
We lost my boy, dude. Come on, Clint Kubiak. You got to come
Kubiak's
on the
gone?
show for that one. You got to come
Kubiak's
on the
in
show for
Seattle?
that one for going to Seattle,
Come
dude.
talk to us.
Come on.
Call into the show.
NFC getting better.
Yep.
Saints are not getting better.
Not getting
Caveman's
better.
gonna be doing a lot of push-ups next year. I can already sense it.
I might as well just take it up now so I can just be buff by the end.
Yeah,
of the
dude,
next
just like start
season.
doing like preloaded push-ups to pay
I'll just
for
get myself ready.
already next year.
I'll just take all the points that we already got scored on us, do 10 push-ups every point.
Saints are rebuilding, bud.
Oh yeah, we are.
Saints
We're
are
probably going to
rebuilding.
be worse next
Broncos
year.
in the same division with Lady Luck and Patrick Mahomes, dude. Like they sold their soul to the devil, dude.
And
There's
now
just no way
Pete
around
Carroll to the Raiders.
Pete Carroll to the
Jim
Raiders.
Harbaugh on the Chargers.
Is that the
Harbaugh and
best
Carroll
Is that the
rivalry?
best core of coaches in any
One of them.
division?
I mean, it's pretty elite.
The
I think
AFC
right now it's
North
pretty
Dude,
elite.
can
Three,
make an argument.
at least 3
True.
coaches that have won a Super Bowl, plus a coach that's been to a Super Bowl and has won a national title. I mean,
And-
Yeah, and like an AFC,
A lot of
yeah,
the
Harbaugh's
prestige.
won a Super Bowl. Tomlin's won a Super Bowl. Zach Taylor's been to a Super Bowl, and Stefanski's back-to-back coach of the year, and he's awesome. I mean, I don't think there's a team that would, hate to have Stefanski as their coach. So that's pretty tough, That's
Yeah.
the only division really that can be debated. I mean,
I
yeah,
think so. Yeah.
top heavy in the NFC West, obviously, McVay and Shanahan, but Shanahan can't get the monkey off his back, and he's only been to 2 and never won one. McVay's won 1, been to 2.
The
Yeah, and
East
definitely
is
not the NFC North. Fuck that.
NFC East is pretty terrible too.
Yeah,
I mean, Dan
NFC South,
Quinn and Nick
trash.
Sirianni
probably got to go to the West, man, with Harbaugh winning the Natty and going to another Super Bowl with Colin
Yeah.
Kaepernick.
Yeah.
I'd probably
Pete
have to
Carroll
go there.
also won a natty at USC.
That's right.
Oh,
they
he's a
did.
dynasty at USC. Dude. He won multiple. I think they won
Yeah.
like 2 out of the 3 in the BCS era, and then they won one, lost 1, and then they won 2 and then lost 1 because they were going to 3-peat against Vince Young, but they lost.
All right. Well, we're going to
Start
get into
there.
the coaching carousel, maybe look ahead to the draft a little bit as well.
Oh yeah,
That's
do you
our
guys wanna
breakdown
break
of the
down the.
championship weekend. I said, well,
We learned a new rule.
oh yeah.
We
learned
got
a
the
new rule, boys.
sequence here. We
Don't-
Actually,
check that out.
If
quick.
you somehow miss this in the
Don't
NFC
let Kansas
Championship,
City Chiefs learn this.
they're gonna
please don't.
be the first team
Please
to get
don't.
awarded the score.
I don't even understand the context of, bro. If you're going to be lining up and you're going to be trying to get him to jump off sides too in that tush push, you have to let the rugby scrum. Like you got to let it play out. I mean, everybody's offsides.
Yeah.
I mean, the helmets are overlapping left and right down there,
Right. Like nobody's on sides on
and
the
there's
fish.
no rule. Why? Okay, so in rugby, and this isn't a rule in the NFL, you can do this: lay flat on the ground, bear crawl, and when they snap it, try to hit the ball. Because their QB sneaking it. You can lay on the ground. Now they can't get underneath you and torpedo you. You're already on the ground. And then your next level because they can't advance because you're laying there. Okay. And then you can start bear crawling underneath their feet. You stand everybody up. It's what they do in the service academies. You stop it every time. Nope. But then they're going to do this. Oh, you got to stop doing that. We're going to award them points. What? Everybody's offside. Dude, the lineman was there. Everybody's offsides. It's a false start every single time you do that.
For real. Somebody always leaves early. I was watching, like, they're calling, like, Luvu for encroaching. I'm, like, looking at them, like, there's at least 4 Commanders guys. Their helmets are in the neutral zone.
Is also.
How about an illegal formation when there's only 3 guys really on the offensive line because it's a little horseshoe offensive line? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So everybody can just, like, collapse down and just, like, pull and just push Jalen Hurts. They got to make that an illegal play. Like, they're going to. Yeah. Because there's going to be a team that's 90% of their offense.
I mean, it's a lot of the Eagles' offense.
Right.
I mean, yeah, before they had Saquon Barkley, 3rd and short, tush push.
Every time.
Even with Saquon.
Even with Saquon.
Yeah.
Dude, they're running this play from the 2-yard line. Like, they're
the Super Bowl, they ran it 7 plays in a row.
For real. Like, dude, it's just, like, at the point you're so confident you can get 2-3 yards with it.
Yeah.
They
were at the 5-yard line in the Super Bowl game the first time, and they ran the tush push the entire way into the end zone.
It's just ridiculous.
From like the 7. Anyway.
We got a ridiculous sequence here to show.
I didn't even know this was a thing. Let's check it out.
I think Washington jumps. Frankie Luvu jumped over both lines. That was like Air Jordan. Look at him. Look at his face.
He got the tongue out like MJ too.
Look at that.
Right over the top.
Encroachment, defense number 4. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. It's still 2nd down.
Oh, man.
I mean, that was something else.
Oh, there they go.
You got to do something. I mean, you can't practice against this play, right?
It's the hardest thing. I don't know how you practice against it. And if you're defending it, it's almost impossible to defend. And they're trying everything. Go over the top, go under, go to the side.
Let's try it again. 2nd and goal. You just keep moving it a couple inches closer.
Encroachment, defense number 4. Washington has been warned that if that foul is intentionally done again, there will be an unsportsmanlike conduct foul. For now, it's half the distance to the goal, and it's still 2nd down.
No, he's just trying to stop it. Luvu realizes going over the top, it's not effective. When they stopped it once today, but not many people have been effective stopping this play.
If you're Cam Jurgens, the ball is literally on the goal line. Cam Jurgens could probably just move it forward 3 inches and be in.
I mean, Washington's got nothing to lose with those offsides at this point. Oh my God.
Mike, how close can they put this ball to the goal line at this point?
Well, interestingly enough, you got a situation here. If these are deliberate, and you heard Sean Hockley say that it could lead to an unsportsmanlike conduct call, it could also lead to awarding a score if it happens multiple times like this. So we'll hear what Sean has to say.
Encroachment, defense number 93. Washington has been advised that at some point the referee can award a score if this type of behavior happens again. For now, it's a replay of 2nd down.
Mike, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it is to keep this happening. Deliberate acts like that to prevent a score after a warning, even though it's 2 separate people here, can lead to what is called a palpably unfair act. That's how it's defined in the book. And you can do as a referee whatever you'd actually like to do.
That's why you're the best. Sean Hockley and his crew were on it, though. And, well, this is the longest 2nd down in NFL history. You see where the ball is. Good try it again. They're going to go. Hurts is in. Touchdown, Eagles.
if you're Washington,
brutal.
Brutal.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like you're trying to jump the count and get in there, and they're just hard count. They're just hard counting you all day, and it's like so. Either we're gonna have to not jump the snap count and risk it being a hard count because they'll just give them a touchdown and get blown off the line, and then they'll get a touchdown anyways.
Yeah.
Lose scenario. There's just no way Washington was not giving up a touchdown there.
Right. Yeah.
They're screwed.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, you're gonna try to get me to jump off sides. I'll jump off sides and then I'm gonna earhole you. And then my owner's gonna pay my fine. And you're never gonna run that play again.
Yeah. Except
like a guy coming around.
I don't think an owner would ever pay a player's fine.
Oh, they have. Oh, they have.
Oh,
they have. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, dude, there was. Oh man, dude, Bill Parcells, famously. You know, he was definitely a guy like. But this is when fines were like 15,000. Now they're like $135,000 for.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like, bro, if I'm gonna win the Super Bowl, like I'll be not in the middle there, the end. Get me to jump, and I'm just gonna curl around. You're gonna try to get me to jump. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna absolutely come clean and blast you, or I'll just dive at your legs. Why aren't guys the defensive linemen too? You're have your hand on the ground. There's nothing against bear crawling.
There isn't. No, I think
but you're already down there,
try.
buddy.
Let's not give Kansas City any ideas, but
you know what I mean. Like, and then that's how you stop. That's how you stop the rugby scrum.
Yeah,
because they can't get underneath you to push you to drive you. If you make them stand straight up, now the second line of attack can push them backwards. Your front four guys have to be in a bear crawl position at a point and just mess up the mesh point.
Right.
And then everybody else can sort of swallow. So if they do run that fake or they pull it out and run that boot action, you have your entire secondary and back end of your defense because you're only sacrificing four guys on the front.
Because what's the offense going to do? They're going to have to just go over those guys in the bear crawl. And the second level can stand them up.
Stand them up.
You know, they're not able to just submarine
and
down
if they pull them,
away.
you have your entire wave behind it to sort of corral them in. And it cancels all that. Again, Madden. Or watching rugby. Hey, I don't know. It works out for frickin' Australia rugby team pretty good to stop a rugby scrum from 1 yard away.
You might as well try it because nothing else.
Copy it.
Nothing
else works. You might as well try it.
And
that
there's
might
no
be
rule
the most
at
unstoppable
being in
play in
that
football.
position and swiping at the ball. Once it's snapped, it's a live ball. I'm not preventing you from snapping the ball. I'm affecting the snap after it's already done. Where's the thinking? I don't know, man. Let's get creative. If they're gonna get creative and try to do some BS to get awarded points when they're purposely trying to draw me off sides too, they're gonna go in hard count and multiple snap counts, dummy calls. What? You're just gonna award them points? They're trying to do this, and all he's doing is just jumping over the daggum pile. He ain't even hit, and you're gonna award him points for something harmless, where players are laughing. They've been warned.
Oh boy,
that's stupid.
We're gonna award them points if they keep doing it. They're trying to get me to do it.
I mean, the tush push has got to get banned because there's just really no good way for a defense to stop it.
You just gotta blow them up.
Yeah,
but you can't.
Because now
that's what I mean. Just pay the fine, dude, and it ends tomorrow. $100,000 can end all of this. A very small investment,
small sacrifice,
a small sacrifice. 100. I mean, these owners are billionaires. Hey, man, if I got to pay $500,000 in fines, but it ends something that we don't want to ever happen in the NFL, I'll pay it. I'm going to win $5 billion if I win the Super Bowl from merchandise, TV, gambling, food. I'm going to make it all back. You know what I mean? You can't lose money making money.
That's a good point.
It's impossible. So I don't know, man. I'm just different, I guess. And I'm not talking about hurting nobody, but you can also take away a team's ability to do what they wanted. This is football, man. I'm not trying to be like Dev. Oh, he's in it.
Don't try to knock a guy out of the game,
But you have to tackle him around his ankles if he has weak ankles, man. I'm not saying gator roll the guy, but just hit him down there so he's thinking about
some wear and tear.
Wear and tear, man. It's a contact sport, last I checked.
You're supposed to be tired.
Maybe
and hurt
I don't
after the
know.
game.
Who knows how much longer?
And you can earhole a guy and have it like players get earholed all the time. So it's not like this, like I don't understand sometimes. Like I'm like, man, dude, it's just so conservative and just like, oh yeah, nonchalant. Oh, well, we're gonna award him points. Oh, you can't do that. It's like if I'm a defender, then now I'm just like, okay, well, they're gonna score anyway. Now they're gonna give him points anyway. So now you just completely
go crazy.
take
Get
away,
in there.
Now you just take away the defense's ability to play defense because they want to try to create chaos too. No,
Right. I
we're
hate
going to
that,
give them
that
points.
You can award them a score. It's
Award
like,
them a score.
all right, then this play has to go because there's like, what else are they supposed to do?
Then why not award them a score if there's a pass interference in the end zone when I'm going up for a catch and I actually have the ball, but he interferes with me? Why isn't that award a score?
Good point. I guess because it kept happening, but
I don't know. Man.
Weird sequence.
2020.
Yeah.
I mean, like this new. I mean, after 2000,
It's another thing.
10,
Like
11, it just hasn't been the same, dude. Like Troy Polamalu used to do that all the time.
Right.
He made a Hall of Fame career timing that and hitting the guy.
I mean,
Before the snap,
he was
after the
certainly
snap.
better at timing it. Like
Definitely,
Luvu
he's a
was
Hall of Fame.
was way early, but
for sure. But like, there was times where they've got him to jump over like multiple. There's
he still was early sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting. What do you guys think? Should the tush push be banned? I don't know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
We got to break down
Tush
the
push,
conference championships, Super Bowl preview. Let's go. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go over some of the NFL coaching carousel and maybe give a look ahead to the draft and some more upcoming picks that we think are possible.
We got top
Stay
plays later
tuned.
too.
Top plays as well.
First sip of cold beer from my old man when I was 8 years old. He taught me to cheer for Earnhardt when he put the 24 in the wall. Came holes popping, cats pulling up a truck line off a no-name road. I can try to change, but I already know I can't help it if my draw's a little too strong. I was raised on cranking up a country song. I was born and bred on a little cornbread and my backwoods style's homegrown. In it. I can't help it if my draw's a little too. I was raised on cranking up a country song. I was born and bred on a little cornbread. My backwoods style's homegrown. You might think I'm wild and reckless. I can't help it. I can't help it. Lord, I can't help it.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Well, we are back for the final hour of the show. 3-hour show, Monday Football Friends. Always football, every Monday. NBA till the final whistle goes. We just went over all the NFC, AFC championship games, the good, the bad, the do's, the don'ts, the what have yous.
We told you what we want to happen in the Super Bowl, what we think's going to happen.
Got to go on a couple of rants.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, dude, football is
Kind of it's just kind of a disappointing end.
It really is
to the season. You know,
it was kind of a cool season.
It was.
My team,
Cool regular
kind of
season.
sucked too.
And then it's just
still pretty cool.
Well, then it's just like the boring, predictable thing where it's like the teams that not really a lot of people want to see. Like we want to see something new, and it's like another year of like Eagles or 49ers, and then like Chiefs, and it's just like,
yeah.
Well, then we
new rules.
biggest problem with the NFL.
Found out
just
new
lack of
rules.
parity.
Yeah, lack of parity.
It got our hopes up for parity. Like a lot of new teams. The Commanders really had my hopes up too.
Like,
And
dude,
the
that year we
Bills,
got Bengals,
I was
Rams.
like, dude.
That was the most excited I was for a Super
was
Bowl
awesome.
since the Broncos win.
Yeah.
Like I could not wait.
Yeah.
To
I don't
watch
even-
that.
Like those are guys I'm like not too like super.
And Joe
hyped
Burrow was
on,
under
like-
siege that whole game.
Yeah, those are just two good teams that year. They
Yeah.
went all the way.
Good
Fresh
competitive,
faces.
Yeah,
good
And then
competitive game.
You know,
Guys you like to root
Bradford.
for. Burrow, you know, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase with it.
Vet,
what have
Bradford
you.
has a big fan base there in Detroit.
Yeah, Matt Stafford,
Yeah,
Cooper
thank
Kupp,
you, Matt Stafford.
Aaron Donald,
Yeah.
Von Miller, and Odell Beckham, kind of like a final dance for them in the sense.
Yeah. Bobby Wagner on that team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
Don't Sean McVay, people like him as a coach.
Ramsey.
It was a breath of fresh air.
Was.
And now
was,
we've gone
And
back
now
to
we're
the
in-
smog of Super Bowls.
We're in the pit of hell right now.
Right.
The Bills
The
could-
Kansas City Chiefs are.
Bills
I mean,
front
we were-
office could get some defense.
like-
Guys, they might be there.
How do they have
Again,
all of the football god juju and they have fans that are like robbing banks on Netflix,
Amazon Prime. But
Amazon Prime?
so arguably bigger than Netflix, actually.
What is even happening, man? Why? Why do we have to live in this world?
I don't even know.
I don't know, bro. I just want to see something for like, man, I don't even think it was like I mean, like, it was kind of bad in college football with all the years of Bama, but it would be a number of different teams. Sometimes it was
It's
like
still fun
another
to watch.
SEC team. Sometimes it was like Clemson,
Clemson was in
or
there.
Ohio State, you know.
Ohio State won
And
the
there was-
championship first in the college football
Yeah,
final.
there were
Yeah.
enough times where like
14
Bama
playoff.
didn't
They
make
won
it, and you know,
Yeah. And they got left
was
out
okay.
this year. And
yeah.
everybody was rooting for Boise State. They get cracked up. Everybody was rooting for Arizona State. They made it a game against Texas. That was fun. I like the
It was.
12-team playoff, man. I think
I do.
I think they
too.
need to make some tweaks, but I think it's going in the right direction.
Like it was. I think it
I
was a
really
video
do.
I sent you from that guy CFP Budge on TikTok, where he
Yeah.
was like,
That was
"What?"
a good idea.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like, his seating sense was like, let's just take the top 4
Right.
teams
Give them the
there
bye.
in the national rankings, give them the bye.
Right.
You still like the 4 highest conference winners get an auto bid, but
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily guarantee you a bye.
See, my
Think
thing
of-
is now if both teams can from the main conferences, right? So if it goes to 16 teams, which I think we both know that it will. Okay, let me bring this up.
why even have conference championship games if the two teams in the conference championship are going to the college football playoff anyway?
Make that the first.
Why isn't that just the first round of the playoffs?
But then who do you give the bye to? You know?
The winner of those games.
So they play games, and then
You
then we
sort
have
of have like the end. Remember, like the first round of the NCAA tournament when those like
So-
late seeds are playing and the first seeds and stuff are on those buys. Like right at
Oh,
the beginning, so you'll sort of have like a play-in for the
those
play.
are like the play-in for the
Bingo.
tournament.
You win you win your conference. Now you have an auto bid into the next round, Sugar Bowl, whatever it is. When Notre Dame played Penn State, that's your bye week anyway.
Okay.
The teams that you know what I'm saying lose, you're playing next week anyway. The
Oh.
team that wins, you're on a bye week because you're playing that first round against
Just
the
tie
16
it
seed.
in. Instead of it being like a conference championship week, then it's like they would have to kind of change the schedule around.
I don't know.
They
I
have
just
so
don't
much
see-
They
They
want to
time
start the
off.
season earlier.
I
They
just
just
don't
had
see
so
how that
much
would.
time off because there's the bowl weekends and then there was
Yeah.
playoffs. So they
Yeah.
there was at least a couple weeks. A lot of teams had a few weeks by before there was even any
Games
college
played.
I think
football
if you're going to
playoff.
do it
Right.
like that, you just skip the buys altogether, and maybe you just get an extra round of home field advantage or something like that.
That's
I'm down
true.
I'm down that video you sent. I'm down for the first 4 teams ranked nationally to get the bye week.
Yeah, I think that would
Then
just
it
be
doesn't matter on who wins your conference. It's a little
Exactly.
less
They want to go
dependent.
away from these conferences anyway. I think Notre Dame's ahead of the schedule being independent. Why aren't all these top teams? Why are you even paying to be in a Go directly to Fox and say, put all of our games on your network and we'll pay you.
If you got a good enough school, they'll do it. They'll
I
make
think
so
the-
much money.
And you
Fox
don't have to
wouldn't
share
care.
nothing.
I
You know
don't
what I
think
mean?
we're going. I don't think we're getting away from that though, because it's
think
it's
it's
the
the state
tradition. It's a
conferences for
program, or it's the tradition of college football.
They keep changing.
I think
it,
that would
too.
upset a lot of people if
I
we got
think
rid
they're
of
gonna-
conferences.
Go to a pool system.
Well, what?
You know what I mean? Like
Uh.
where everybody, okay, 16 teams make the playoff. Top 16 nationally, you play each other. Make your schedule. You can still make your schedule like how it is. And then Notre Dame does it. There's independents that have done it. Texas was independent for a little bit at the end of their run with that old guy before he went to North Carolina. I forgot his name. Brown, who was a coach with during Vince Young. They were an independent for a little bit out of the Big 12 when they were in limbo status. With them, they went independent. They made their own network.
Okay.
Longhorn Network. You know what I mean? So it's like I still think
I
you
just
have
don't
the
like
ability
if
to make
every.
a schedule.
But if every team is doing that, I'm just not sure how it's going to.
Well, every team
work
can't do it, and it's obviously not going to be that because it's haves and have-nots in college football anyway. We're not going to see Boise State win a national championship.
Well, that would also just get rid of a lot of teams. We would see less parity in college football.
There's
because
no parity though.
There would be just still we at least got to see some new teams in the playoff with the new system.
Yeah, and I'm down for that. I want to expand it so you can see more of that. But they're not going to win the national championship. The teams that are
It's
going to
like-
win the national
It's
championship.
gonna be more talent disparity.
They're still
between
gonna
all the
be like
smaller
one of the top
schools.
5 teams.
Jeremiah
It's
Smith
like-
is dogging anybody in the like.
It's just gonna continue to be
You
like
know.
that probably for a while, honestly.
Yeah,
Because
because like we've seen Army. Oh my
You can only
gosh, they
get
won
so
their
many-
conference. Like, yeah, put Power 5 conference, Group of 5, they call it. You know, oh well, we saw what happened when Notre Dame, like they lost to Northern. Oh, they lost to Northern Illinois. How good they can be. Well, they just took like your expanded playoff conference champion into the playoff and blew them out by 40. And then the team that was next best in that conference, Navy, blew them out by 4. You know what I mean? Beat Penn State, beat Indiana. Oh, upstart Indiana. Make sure that they're in over Alabama. Really, why? I would have rather seen Alabama.
I don't know. I think
South
Alabama
Carolina.
That's a
would have
better
gotten. I think they would have still gotten blown out by Notre Dame.
Notre
South
Dame
Carolina
would have lost
over
Alabama.
Bama.
I don't think so.
South Carolina.
Milrose
Bama-
better than Riley Leonard.
Bama had a lot of issues. They were a pretty incomplete team.
If they're playing Notre Dame, though, they're waking up.
Jalen Milroe is not throwing on that secondary. It would be
That's a
so
true- that's a
much
good
on on his legs and their running game, and I don't.
I just think they can out athlete us because that's what
Maybe, but-
Ohio State did. Like they have
Maybe,
a
but-
pass rush.
I mean,
We're playing
Bro,
4
Well, you guys
freshmen
still play
offensive linemen.
Georgia.
Bama
You guys
had.
play Georgia.
You think like Bama
That's
had a
premier
lot of.
pass rush. Penn State.
Bama didn't
True.
have any
Premier
opt outs
pass
or
rush.
anything in
True
their
that.
bowl
Good
game.
point.
Bama
Fair
had
point,
their
Keegan.
complete
Yeah.
team playing Michigan. Michigan had like 4 guys opt out,
Yeah,
and they still
that's fair.
dominate
I would have rather
them,
seen Alabama instead of
overpower
Indiana.
them,
That was better.
overwork them.
South
I don't-
Carolina over
Like,
Bama. Come on,
Bama
Jimmy.
lost to a terrible
South Carolina
Oklahoma
over
team.
Alabama.
I
in the
see
right
what you mean about
conditions.
Indiana, but like South Carolina
Bro,
over
Tennessee.
Bama.
Like if Tennessee plays Notre Dame first round of the playoffs, it's not even close.
I think that game.
It's not-
would be
I don't
pretty
know.
Close.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Tennessee
That's a
was
passing
really
kid.
that was a
and they got
really good
defense.
team.
They're just not going to let Notre Dame run up and down the field. And Jeremiah Love was injured.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Miami too. Like I don't know. Yeah. So, but I'm for the expanding the playoff for sure. I want the top 4 teams to get the bye. I believe in the bye. I do. All this conference realignment, teams coming, teams going from Big 12 to SEC, back to the Big 12. Some teams going from Big 12 to the Big 10. I don't know, man. Like I think there's an ability to have teams play like a conference type schedule, but when it comes to the college football playoff, it's sort of a separate thing. You know what I mean? It's real. You really got to get the best 12 team or 16 teams in there, or 14, and then have like a split by, kind of like what I was mentioning a little bit. You know, where there's sort of like a play-in sort of type situation where you can play for that last 16 spot.
Well,
that game's sort of in between all the other games of the bio. You know
what I think they weren't really expecting either is like a group of 5 team to be ranked high enough to get one of those auto bids, and then Boise had that run this season. You know, where they shot up in the rankings, and they won. So
that's a good point.
They were higher, like because they make it so a group of 5 team can get in, right?
A couple.
SMU's in the ACC.
Yeah, but
Boise was the only group.
Small.
Yeah, Boise was the only like official group of 5 team that made it. So like they left it where there's that the door is open, but I think the thought process there is they're gonna have to go on the road. Probably and play a playoff.
I think they can upset somebody.
Yeah,
I think they can.
And then Boise ended up, jumping an ACC school in the rankings, and they got that bye. And I don't think that was something they were planning on having happen. I don't know how often we're going to actually
I'm
see
kind
that.
of with you on. That's a very good point.
I feel like going forward, for the most part, the teams with buys or that are going to win their championship are going to be from ACC, Big 10, Big 12, SEC.
It's SEC, Big 10. Maybe throw Clemson in there every now and then. Yeah. I mean, because, dude, I don't know, you see a team like Ole Miss and Jackson Dart playing that bowl game, and you're like, line them up against Boise State. What are we talking about?
I mean,
what are we talking
to Duke's credit, a lot, they had a lot of opt-outs, and they were playing
no doubt
Ole Miss at full
just
strength.
the style of football that they play, though, is what I mean. You put that style of football into playoff,
and I'll give
different level.
I'll give you Ole Miss over Indiana. I would have taken that
1,000,000 times over.
I'm not saying that we would have been better off with an SEC school over Indiana, just not Bama. Bama does. They had 2 awful losses.
It's a fair argument.
All right, Ole Miss was just a better
Oklahoma
team.
loss was. You can't do that. Yeah, you can't. Right.
Smacked up by Oklahoma.
Yeah. I just sort of use it as an example where I'm like, all right, though, taking a 30,000 feet view now that the season's over, looking down on it for next year. Yeah, dude, you got to. I think they're going to tweak the who gets a bye, how that happens, the timing of it.
Yeah,
because I think the concept is right with the 12.
I think that's going to give us more competitiveness in the first round. It's you had a team like Ohio State that could have been a top 4 team in the country.
They could have been Oregon sitting and watching.
Right, exactly. And instead they had to go play a game. Same with Texas. Same with Penn State.
They mopped up Tennessee too in that first round. That wasn't.
They really did.
That was.
They just went on early.
I think that
whole playoffs.
Yeah.
They got that momentum going against Tennessee, and they never looked back. I didn't want to admit it, but after that game, I watched it and I was like, "Well, Ohio State's winning the whole thing."
I agree with you there, dude.
They got
I think
shocked.
You mentioned it during the show.
They got shocked by Michigan, which might have been the best thing that could have happened in this season. Is holy crap! We're not, we got to lock in. We can't just coast. And they played.
Yeah,
we can't lose to anyone else.
But it was good. It was good for them to get that rude awakening just before the playoffs started. Honestly,
one of the last few weeks of the season.
If they beat Michigan, I
Right.
think they could have they might have come out not playing their best football in one of those playoff games and easily gotten upset. But they got that. That was losing a game at the right moment. Where that was
Sharpie beard, dude.
yeah, it does look drawn on there.
No, it is.
No,
The
definitely.
players called him out.
It's like the Carlos.
His
Boozer.
eyebrows don't
Buddy,
even look real either, bro.
It's just
No.
for they were like
No
oh,
face hair.
coach, you look so. They were like, no, cuz it's just for men. That's what we call him. We call him just for men. That's what the team calls him.
That's hilarious.
After that thing when they won the playoff against Tennessee, it was on Twitter. They called him just for men.
That's like the Carlos Boozer
Drawn on hairline.
hairline.
Yeah. What are you doing, buddy? You're a millionaire.
That's hilarious.
Go to Tora Bora and just go get some horsehair, bro.
Some implants or something.
Yeah.
What's
You
happening?
got money? Bulls gave you $100 million.
Go to a hotel breakfast in Turkey. See everyone with their hair.
Yeah.
plugs
Oh,
in.
dude, it's perfect hair over there. They love our hair, dude. Me and Mercury, bro. You know how much money we can make over there with our hair, bro?
Oh my goodness,
dude.
If we ever fall on hard times financially,
No kidding. That's what I'm talking about.
So
You guys
can
want
go
to do
sell
some top plays? I mean, because I can get into that. We got to have another discussion on that college football because I mean, there's so many different dynamics, and I think we were talking about this like when we first started doing shows together. That this first year, of this college football playoff, man, these 12 teams, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Now that we've seen it all play out for a year, we can all see some tweaks, but I
Yeah.
think we all see the positives because I do want to see some of those smaller schools go on the road and maybe upset and go, maybe on a little mini run.
give you a good story.
Good story, something fun.
Exactly.
But to have everybody in the first
It's
round lose
something-
by 30 was kind of
that
tough.
was
Right.
stupid.
That really just proved that we're not seeding it properly.
I'm with you.
Like we gotta say we change up the seating. Maybe we get like a game where it's like
SMU Notre Dame.
Arizona State versus Boise,
Yeah.
and you're like,
That would've
what?
been a
Like that
great
would have
game.
been kind of intriguing. Like that could have been a really back and forth game. I
Goes to a
think.
deeper question. Who's making the picks of who's seat? Like, who are the people seating?
It's the playoff
It's
committee.
that, and
Well,
that's
what needs
I-
to change.
I
That's
mean,
a big thing that needs
we
to
got
change.
we got people who've never watched football. I mean, did you see the clips coming out of some of those videos of like when all the games were
Where
on?
they're
We-
watching the conference
They're
championship.
getting their nails done, massages. they got
they're-
a whole buffet.
They're like sitting in
buddy,
like a hotel lobby. It looked like while they're no snacks, no drinks.
like, buddy, we're not kicked up watching ball, bud.
Like you guys
You're
look
in
like
a 4-piece.
you guys look like you're on a work presentation. Like,
Yeah.
like come
Yeah.
on, like
They got
This is the
senators
worst.
delivering speeches for their team, or congressmen like, "We want our team in the playoff." Like that's gonna, we're gonna give you a government kickback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what?
It's stupid. Like
I think
Yeah, it's
the best thing.
it needs to be like the
Five high-
Barstool
Keep the
game.
5 highest conference winners get an auto bid, but then
Yeah.
when we get to the playoff, you're reseeded based off of your national rank. So even if you're not in the
I
top
like that.
12, but you won your conference, you take a spot, but then you're reseeded based off of your strength of schedule.
the playoffs
and
are
teams,
whole
you know?
different than the regular
It's-
season
It's been too different the whole way.
because
It
the
didn't change.
March Madness is how they seed you might not necessarily matter for national rank.
Right. Like I think if
Make it the same thing.
if
'Cause
we're
there's so many
we're
teams on that
reseeding for
bracket
this
now that it's just
this year's
I know, it's
playoffs.
95 teams.
Yeah.
What do we look at? We'd have Oregon still be number 1. We put like Georgia probably at
Look
the
at them play, dude, and you're like, how is that team number 1?
yeah, but just because they were undefeated,
I get
number
it.
1 team in the country. Georgia would have probably been number 2 after winning the SEC championships. That would have still been
Yeah.
Texas 3.
Texas.
you look at your 3 team, maybe Texas.
Maybe Notre Dame
Probably
4.
I was gonna
Ohio
say-
State.
Notre Dame might have actually qualified for a first round
we
bye.
didn't. If we didn't lose if we finish undefeated, we do. If we have one
Even
loss,
still,
we don't.
I'm like, how can you put like a 2-loss Texas or Ohio State
when
in
we
there
expand, we will.
and not give like a
Sure.
There.
1-loss Notre Dame that was a top 5 team? Like, okay, they're the 3 seed,
Yeah.
and then maybe it's Texas or Ohio State. It'd probably be like Penn State or Texas. I think would be
I'd probably agree with that.
as the runners up, and then you
Yeah.
look at like a 5 seed. It's like maybe that's Indiana because they're a
Yeah.
1-loss team, and then you have them like getting a Boise or an SMU.
Georgia.
Well, no, because Georgia would have
Georgia
a
would
bye.
have bye. That's right.
But Right. Like one loss Indiana. They're coming as your 5 seed playing the 12 seeded. Let's just say it's SMU because they still got in despite losing. And then the 6th seed is Clemson playing like the 11th seeded Boise State.
Yeah.
And then Texas is the 7.
That's a lot more.
Playing the 10 seeded not Penn State. I think
Maybe
Penn
like,
State would be
like
8.
Notre Dame, maybe. I don't know.
Then it doesn't matter
'Cause I
who's
think
in. It just
Notre
makes
Dame was
the
only
games better.
Notre
Make
Dame
the
was what,
matchups
11?
better.
They were
No, we were 7th.
7th, yeah.
seed.
And then the Indiana was 10th.
Like rank the teams where you want, but at least make the matchups good.
Exactly.
To the point
I
where you
think
have good games.
like these matchups that we were coming up with there.
Yeah.
First round, maybe it's like Ohio State at the 8 is like we could still take that and be like, all right, they play Texas. Say it's Ohio State, Texas first round instead, or Penn State, Ohio State, give them like a little rematch there, and it's Texas.
Yeah.
Texas and blanking on the other team. Who would I have at 10?
SMU.
No, SMU would be the 12th seed in my opinion.
Well, then that would have been Tennessee.
Texas, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh man, that'd have been fire.
Yeah, that would have been good. That's a good matchup.
Or Texas
That's in
and
the home
Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Tennessee. Like what?
Yeah.
It would be somewhere around there where I'm
These
not
are
exactly
still the
sure how you would seed it, but yeah.
Home field advantage games too. Texas, Tennessee in Texas would be an insane game.
Or like, hey, Ohio State, they're the 5-12 matchup. They're the 5 seed because they're like you're like even though they got 2 losses, they're the best team there, and then give them the SMU. That might still be a blow, but then like in the middle of it, it's a little bit better. And then I think Oregon gets somebody that's less of a buzzsaw coming off the 1 seed. Like Oregon kind of got punished for getting the 1 seed. I mean, you're gonna take a month off and then have to play the red hot
Ohio
State Buckeyes. Yeah, like no
way more than a month because they had a month off for the regular season and then they had the bye week. Say like 2 extra weeks off.
Right.
That's tough to keep the
None of the
momentum.
guys played. In
They really weren't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know they finished undefeated, but beating Purdue in Iowa.
Come on.
Did they even play? No, Indiana didn't even play Oregon this year.
No, they didn't.
No.
Yeah. So what are we even talking about?
They barely beat Boise State.
Did they play Michigan? Oregon did? Yeah, they did.
Yeah, Oregon beat Michigan.
Yeah, beat the crap out of them. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough. Yeah. So first year, the college football playoffs, some tweaks that we all
Some
kind of
tweaks
see.
to get made, but
the college. I mean, like Jack Swarbrick, shout out AD for Notre Dame, probably the only football guy in that college football committee. Head of the college football committee this year, probably the only football guy.
yeah, for real.
He was kicked up. Yeah, he sent up. He was the only one I think that drank a beer in that entire room. He had that line of Kugels in his hand. I'm like, all right. I mean, I know it's just not a line of Kugels, but at the same time, I'm like, all right,
I
we
mean,
got
you're watching ball,
something.
man.
He's
You gotta
trying.
be enjoying
At least we got
yourself.
something.
Yeah, he's trying a little bit.
He's not wearing a 3-piece suit. He's wearing, whatever. But Brooks Brothers, shout out, little sweater. But I'm like, dude, like, let's get some maybe like some coaches that like got fired from programs and just bring him in as like,
For real.
you know what I mean?
Like these- the committee,
you got
they
business people.
they seem
and
too corporate. That's the problem.
It's
man.
really corporate. Yeah.
Like I want
very
some football guys
Yeah.
making this decision,
We
not
need to
like
bring back Mike Leach out of cryogenesis and be like, all right, dude,
like
you're running the show now.
I look at these guys. I'm like, I don't even. You couldn't convince me that these guys went to a football school. These guys look like
Right.
like Ivy Leaguers and
Yeah.
all that. I'm like, and that's fine if we're running a law firm or a corporation, but this is football. I need like I need
Let's
some
get
guys.
Nick Saban in there.
I need some guys that coached, some
Right?
guys
Let's
that
get Nick
played.
Saban. Let's
And he
get
could
let's
do that
get
and
John
still
Gruden
be
up
wherever he wants. They could still do that and still be media personalities.
100%.
Is
Absolutely.
Jimbo
Easily.
Fisher? Is he on the team or is he just floating around? I don't know
I
if he
think
got.
Jimbo might be a free agent, bub.
Yeah, I think he.
Oh,
My
come
boy
on
Jimbo.
now.
I mean, national championship. National
exactly.
champion, no big deal.
Right.
I know he's a little bit of a people
he's a
kind
little
of
long in the tooth, and he's a
people got a
wild.
love-hate relationship with him.
I
But
think he might have a good understanding of what come from
I'd
Nick
certainly-
Saban system.
I'd certainly trust Jimbo Fisher, dude. I mean, that's just a college football
I
coach
trust
name
Will
right there.
Muschamp over some of these corporate
Right.
guys making this.
Like Jimbo Fisher over Steven Nelson. I don't even know. Like that is just like that's just a basic
That
name.
seems
that I
like a
think
guy's name.
How
that's
about
on
we
the
get
committee.
like a core group of like, I don't know, college football Hall of Fame players? They might understand how to, some of these older guys.
Let
Let's
them
get
pick.
Rocket
Yeah.
Ishmael, like some Jerome Bettis, Tim Brown.
Go. Dude, throw a guy like
Tim-
Johnny
Terrell-
Manziel in there. I don't even care.
Yeah, Terrell Owens,
Some
maybe like, you know
legends.
what I mean? Like,
All right, let's get him in here.
You know, shout out Randy Moss. Hope he feels better. We're praying for you. T's and P's. But like, I mean, maybe, you know, coming from Marshall, let's get some college football Hall of Famers. Let's get a group and you want to make it a committee? That's not a committee. That's just a board. You know, board
That's
of.
a board.
That's just a board, dude.
It's just a board of
A
executives.
board of
Yep.
executives, dude.
It's a board. group right
Sponsors,
there.
and oh, this will be nice, and oh, we can say this, and that'll be that. And all right, we make our money, we go home.
Like, we just need football dudes.
Let's get
to
some
make that
football dudes
decision.
up in there and be like, all right, no, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make football good. You're gonna make money because if the brand's good, people watch. Throughout history, NBA games were on tape delay. The NBA Finals, tape delay. Will Chamberlain, oh my God, he scored 100 points. Tape delay.
No, that wasn't even filmed.
Okay, wasn't even.
We don't even have. We don't even have the footage.
We don't
bro.
even. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
No footage.
All
of
right.
it.
You know, no big deal. Make the game good. You keep focusing on that. Bird Magic. All of a sudden, guess what? People watch. I don't know. Kind of a crazy thought to make if your football is good.
1962.
People like watching good football
Right,
every time. Let's just make football.
bro. We have experimental like camera footage where like where it was like the very like early type of like film camera where it was almost more of like a slideshow with how it
Just like,
captured it.
yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
we have like that from like the Civil War where it's like
Yeah.
almost like video evidence of the Civil War, and yet we don't have the footage of Wilt Chamberlain.
Right.
From 1962.
Yeah, 62. Shout out Caveman.
But we literally have. There's movies that came out in 1962.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
I think
Lawrence of Arabia, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
Lawrence
that
of
that
Arabia
masterpiece
came out.
was
Did
shot,
that
but we
one
don't
guy
have.
fly around the
62.
world right around then? Like Lindenberg? No, that was a little bit earlier, but we got film footage of Lindenberg flying around the world.
The first
John-
flight was recorded, dude.
Yeah. John
But the
Ford
New York
was
Knicks
out.
couldn't afford some videography equipment to record Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100 points. I don't buy it. I'm not into it. I'm out on the 100-point game. But as far as the college football goes, dude, like you make football good, you're gonna make people are
gonna
gonna
make
watch. You're
bank.
gonna make bank.
Yeah.
It's what it's gonna be. You know, you put Johnny Manziel in a college football playoff, like the way that he was playing football at that time. The national champion that year was Alabama. They won it that year. Johnny Manziel went to Alabama and gave them all
Only
the work.
person to beat them that year.
Gave them 5 with Mike Evans,
Hung over as hell, too.
buddy.
Like
giving them work. That would have
bro
been
was out in Tuscaloosa just
printing
ripping
money
beer bongs,
under the
too.
stadium, printing money.
Yeah, that's what.
Like
Those are our thoughts on the
you
college
can't
football
nuke it.
playoff
Don't nuke it.
and the committee. Let us know what you're thinking. You know what your thoughts on it were.
Maybe
I
guys
really,
blow it up.
I
Blow up
like
the
the 12
committee.
team playoff. It needs some tweaks and adjustments. I think they're going to get it refined and a
People
lot
are
better.
getting paid to do nothing on that committee. Let's be honest. They're getting paid to make the fans mad. We're watching regardless.
Yeah.
But more people are going to watch.
All the
if it's
sponsors
amazing.
and
Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Well, we're
Into the
coming up on
politics.
1 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get into some of our top plays
Top
of
plays.
the week.
Shot clock winding down, puts up a three. Bang! He is a one-man wrecking crew. This is caught! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
All right. So
Unbelievable. Top plays.
I got to say that I did upload these late. So none of
fine.
them have names.
So we're just flying
So
off
I
the seat of
think-
our pants like the college
I
football playoff
think-
committee here.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
the committee right now. I say we just go in. This is a blind reaction here. You can kind of see what's happening in some of the thumbnails.
know,
the
yeah.
top one there is the Eagles Commanders
Right.
play.
Let's
Now,
check it out.
Only
Yeah,
a
let's
few
check it out.
games, so a little smaller pool size for the top plays,
Yeah.
but they're still just as good.
And then we can vote on maybe who had the top play of the championship.
I think that's a good idea there.
Good idea.
Before,
Let's
yeah.
check it out.
Going quick here, Daniels looking to keep it. Daniels, great move on his feet and in for the touchdown. Oh, what a move!
I mean, if Jane Daniels can
Still
do
a
that, I mean,
game
Patrick
right
Mahomes.
there.
Right.
He just danced through your entire second quarter of your defense.
Jogging too.
Daniels
Jogging out there.
I gotta say, watching Jaden Daniels move with the ball is just like poetry in motion. It's so
Brian
smooth.
Kelly had that guy, Brian Thomas Jr., who led rookie receiving this
And
year,
Malik Neighbors.
And Malik Neighbors, probably the most explosive rookie, and they didn't win 9 games.
Brian Kelly, trash, bro.
Doo-doo water.
Like somebody was saying, like
Dumpster.
for a while,
You pick up that dumpster that's been sitting in the sun for a month and just dump out the liquid out of the bottom of that.
Yeah.
That's Brian Kelly, bro.
I was watching. Somebody was saying like
Trash
for
truck,
years we all thought
the
like people
garbage
hated.
juice off the trash truck.
Everyone thought they hated Notre Dame just because they were Notre Dame, but really it was because it's Brian Kelly. Was
And
there.
then Charlie
People
Weiss
hated
before that.
Yeah, people hated the coaches.
Yeah,
because they were in the fun. They sucked all the fun out of the program. You bring
He
in a
yelled
fresh,
and screamed at you if you just like did anything.
right.
Yep.
You bring in like a fresh new face like Marcus Freeman. All of a sudden, like
Go play ball, boys.
Go have some fun.
no, I'd say Notre Dame's probably one of the more popular teams in the country.
Very.
Like people want to see them succeed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And the thing was, like, dude, like that player, it was in the Penn State game. He like tried to go for the punter a couple times and he missed the punt, but he hit the punter like 3 plays in a row. I'm watching Twitter and people were loving it. They're like, do it again, dude. Like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Because they still wouldn't. He could have done it another time and they still wouldn't have had a first down with the 5-yard penalty. It was still 4th and 7. And he did it twice in a row. And I was like, I've never. If something like that happened with Brian Kelly, he's screaming at the guy. He's not back on the field. He's probably benched. And everybody's like, well, you know, why is Brian Kelly
They
yelling?
probably fake the punt, get it, convert.
No kidding, dude.
And then they score.
I
and then
watched
you find a way
Michigan
to lose
State
the
do
game.
that to us with Brady. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, they ran that fake field goal for a touchdown. Brian Kelly's like second year of the year. They had Kirk Cousins as their quarterback. Michigan State did.
Oh,
I
Michigan
think
State Kirk
It
Cousins
that
was special.
Mike D'Antoni was his name, I think
It
it
was
was.
different.
But yeah, it was. And they had a Javon Ringer who played in the league for a little bit. He was fucking awesome running back. Yeah, and they ran a fake field goal for like it was like 4th down and like 13. They were down like 6. Notre Dame was, was going to get the ball. It was like 2 minutes left. Could have milked the clock. Fake field goal touchdown. Brian Kelly loses his mind. Red face.
Right.
And then we go into Miami in a big game at the end of the year to go to the Sugar Bowl. If we win, we go to the Sugar Bowl. Yeah, we were going to get blown out by like somebody, but we were going to go to the Sugar Bowl that year. We go into we go into Miami in Hard Rock Stadium. It was 34-0 by halftime. It was bad.
Rough.
Brian Kelly.
Dude, some of those coaches,
out.
like I get like the being like the hard knock, like tough guy football coach, or like sometimes like it just does not work. And like Brian Kelly is a prime example of that, where it's like you are not maximizing your player's potential.
Jane Daniels.
Right.
Brian Thomas Jr. That's it. Next
play.
You play to win the game.
Daniels fires one caught. McLaurin in stride. Breaks a tackle. Terry McLaurin is in. Touchdown.
He does do this. I'm so happy
That's
for
putting in
Scary
work,
Terry, though, man.
I was happy.
He deserves to have a good quarterback. He's
finally
whole career loyal to Washington and just played with absolute slop at the QB position and still balled out, man.
Yep.
Still found a way to be the guy for him.
And he's been big in this postseason, and he's do it all guy, route runner, go like not a super tall dude, but he can just go up and moss anybody, man. He's made some incredible catches.
He's an X, he's a Y, he's a Z. You can put him in any position at the wide receiver,
Another guy that was really vindicated, where it's like you're like, oh, you just give him like a quarterback and watch magic happen. And yeah, career year for him.
Yeah,
great playoff run, even though it's come to an end.
Yeah.
He was over 80 yards receiving in every
Dude,
game.
you know who had like the fountain of
3
youth
touchdowns
this year?
Who's that?
Zach Ertz, dude.
For real.
Fountain.
I wish he
of
was freaking
youth
22 years
resurgence,
old.
brother.
I wish he had his whole
I-
career with
I
Jaden
know.
Daniels, dude.
Ain't
What-
that the truth?
Same with
Dude,
Scary Terry.
What
Both
he had the
those guys.
same like he was in Arizona with Kingsbury,
Yeah.
and Kyler Murray, and
Didn't do
Dude was
anything.
a non-factor.
Non-factor.
Forgot he
Not
like
even
And he played
close.
with Philly. Zachert started his career with
Dude.
Philly, but he also had Chip Kelly as
Right.
his coach. So you're screwed.
and he was solid in Philly. Like he was a real good tight end. in
He
Philly.
was with
Then he went to
he had LaShawn McCoy there.
Yeah. He went to Arizona, and it's just like I thought I thought he
Gave him a
retired,
bag, too. They gave him
and yeah, I thought he had retired until I
He's
saw him
rich.
playing on the Commanders, and I was like, well, his wife is like a
Oh yeah, super
beast
like
on that soccer, the U.S. women's soccer team.
Yeah, she's made $1 trillion. From
Oh yeah,
sponsorships.
So they're good.
her
They're all
her
right.
sponsorship
Katie
deals
Mor-
probably are
Katie
more than
Morgan?
her salary.
Katie Moore, something
It's
like that.
Julie
Some-
Ertz.
Oh yeah, I thought her maiden name was Morgan, Julie Morgan, maybe.
Maybe
I
she
think
goes
so.
by
I've
she
heard-
goes
I've
by
heard
Ertz now.
Ertz
She-
now, yeah.
So
Shout out to that family, dude.
their kid's gonna be a
Dude, their kid.
superstar athlete.
Just don't even pull.
Bro.
If you see your kid and like, oh, you see, Zach Ertz and Mrs. Ertz in the same league as your kid, pull your kid out and move.
I really want them to
Just
have.
it's gonna be cheap.
I want the. I don't know.
You'll have
how-
a better shot.
True.
I don't know that family. I don't know how many kids they want to have, but like I would really hope they have at least one boy because I think we're gonna
Yeah.
see like the next great wide receiver. Like that kid's
Or,
gonna be
like,
so
A
tall
pitcher
and
or
so
something in
fast.
baseball that's just like
or
a super stud baseball player.
yeah, something crazy.
We need to
Right.
see it.
I would love to. Yeah,
Let's see if they have
Hey,
any kids.
The
And
already.
world,
a one
world's gonna have
boy
a
'cause
problem when
he might
Jose
more likely-
Canseco's kid coming up through the ranks. He's like 15, hitting like 500-foot bombs on MLB players already.
yeah.
He's playing the Dominican League, and he's just
Okay, so they have a son and a daughter. It looks like.
oh, congratulations to them.
Oh,
yeah.
twin sons.
Oh,
Man, they're gonna
man.
die. Oh, dude, that's gonna be dangerous.
They're
for the
gonna-
league, bro. They're going to
oh,
NBA or
man.
NFL. They're not playing
Case and
baseball. What am I
Kyron.
talking about?
All right. Keep an eye on those.
Keep on,
dudes.
yeah, and about
It'll be
year-
like 20.
Case and
Year,
Kyron
year
Ertz.
2047. Look
Yeah,
out for
the
that.
2047 class.
Yeah.
So they just recently had kids.
Yeah, it says that they just recently
Yeah,
announced
so
the birth of their twins.
2043.
This photo, yeah, he's a little dude in that.
Okay.
Little guy.
Yeah.
Dang.
So
So yeah, no,
So
they're gonna
18
be
years from now.
they're gonna be
Yep.
going popping off.
Just
I can
dude,
just see it.
dude, if I'm a college, I'm starting to give them NIL money now.
Got to start.
I'm offering it now.
Start leading them towards your program.
Money doesn't lie.
For real.
In history, give them NIL now.
Okay.
Next,
top play.
Daniels fires one.
sorry, that was a typo by me. We're gonna go to the because they're not named. I mean, what am I
they're
gonna
not
do?
named.
He's in the dark here.
Shout out.
On 2nd and 10. Down the field for the big ball to the end zone. And it is caught. Hollins able to hold on. 34 yards and a strike from Josh Allen.
We talked last.
I mean, he
Matt
caught it, I
Collins,
know you-
Right?
Another guy having a career
Is
year.
he a rookie, sophomore, or junior? When
I
did he
don't
get onto
even
their
know.
team?
No,
I
dude,
wanna
Matt
look that
Collins
up.
been in the league for a minute.
Has he?
Yeah, bro, because he was on the Falcons for a while, then he was on the Raiders.
we
I
never-
know that.
he's on
I'm
the
not
Raiders.
buying the no shoes thing anymore. If he's been in the league this long
And we're
and you
just not
haven't
seeing
had a
it.
storyline about you,
Right.
Dude, he was drafted in 2017
Oh
by
my
the Eagles.
I'm not
Gosh.
buying the no shoes crap anymore, dude.
I'm with you.
Put some shoes and socks
I'm with
on,
you
dude.
on that now, Kate.
Put
Dude,
some
well,
shoes
he's
and
always been a
socks on.
nobody on like pretty much like on bad teams. Like,
I'm not buying that.
I thought he was a young guy.
So did
nah.
I.
I'm like, this guy's wearing like Cookie Monster outfits pregame with no shoes. Like,
Born
I'm like,
1993.
I'm in on this guy. This guy is my age. This is not acceptable behavior, Matt Collins. I'm sorry.
Put
I don't
some
care.
freaking
You can
shoes
be.
on.
I'm a hippie too, brother, but I'm wearing some Chacos, brother. I'm all
Moccasins,
about free
something.
love, and I'm a hippie at heart, so I get it, dude. But like, brother, you are 35 years old playing football.
That's
Oh.
great.
We need to wear shoes, Mac.
That's great.
I don't know.
Brother,
I'm
I
out
don't
on
I
it
don't
now,
know if I'm
caveman.
buying that anymore.
Look,
I'm not buying
here,
it
I'm
either.
out here. I'm looking at his career stats. His best year in the league
Gotta be this year.
No, it was with the Raiders. He caught 57 balls for 690 yards and 4 touchdowns.
What year?
He had a career that was
22, 23.
Yeah, 22, 23. This year he had 31 catches for 378 and 5 touchdowns.
Yep. So he's never caught more than 690 yards in a single season.
Yeah. I'm not like his first few years didn't even play in Miami.
Like Jaden Reed hasn't gotten the ball since week 5, and he has that.
Buck 25 in his first 2 years receiving those touchdowns, 176 and a touchdown. In 2020,
he was on that Super Bowl winning Philadelphia Eagles team.
He was, yeah. I got the ring as a rookie. Didn't really do anything. That's why we haven't been hearing about him because, you're just maybe he does. He's probably. I think he has been doing the no shoes thing, but you haven't really been a contributor on a good team, and so everyone's like, nobody cares. But now you're on the Bills. You're playing with Josh Allen. All of a sudden now
you have a
it's
platform. Now you have your antics. Now everybody wants to see that. You know what I mean? Now you're getting the pub. He's probably made more money this year than he ever has before because of all of his stuff on social media.
Yeah,
for real.
Going on podcasts and stuff. So,
but all right, we ready for the
let's play.
What's the
next play?
Flags on a 4th and 2 back in November as Cook has all kinds of room and able to shed the tackle by Najee Johnson, and there he goes. Yeah, you wanted to see more running of the football, and they come.
Bro,
it was a great stiff arm
running right through the guy.
Cook was bodying people.
I kind of like James Cook, man. I'm in on him.
Oh yeah.
I was out. Now I'm in.
I was trying to tell you, man.
I became in on Jahmyr Gibbs. Now I'm out on Jahmyr Gibbs. I think James Cook might be my new guy.
I was trying to tell you, Jimmy, dude, he's a beast. He's good. He's really good.
We disrespected him. We said we were picking Najee Harris over him.
I did say that.
I didn't
say
that.
I
didn't
say
say
Both
that.
of us did.
I said
Both
that.
of us did.
Okay.
I'm with you, Caveman. I made a dramatic error.
I got it. Yeah, that was an error.
I am clueless.
I was always a James Cook supporter.
You was always Jimmy Covers.
But their hate had overshadowed me.
I gotta admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong.
You're wrong, man.
I'm in on James Cook now. He might be
guy.
one of my new favorite running backs in the league.
He's their guy.
That stiff arm was nice. That touchdown where he stayed up. Most guys that
he's exciting to watch.
He's
dude.
really exciting to watch. And I love his hair. He's got great hair. The dreads coming out the back of the always been sick.
It does look pretty.
I
sick
like it a lot
all the time.
I've always been a dreads guy. That's why I like Marion Barber so much.
Oh, that's
the most average.
What a
running back.
callback, bro.
Dude.
Now he had the greatest 2-yard run in NFL history.
That one in the end zone, right? Where he almost
he
delayed
broke
that safety.
4 tackles. So
he ran like 65 yards to gain 2 yards.
Dude, I think on that play, a 2-yard gain, he broke like 8 tackles.
Yeah.
Before eventually getting 2.
Yeah.
And then 3 plays later,
elite dreads changed the game. They changed the rule on the horse collar because they got him, and he was one of the guys that shattered his leg too on that horse collar stuff. Now it's a penalty.
Yeah. All right.
And that's what the Bounty Gate Saints used to always do.
Shout out.
Because that wasn't a penalty back then.
That was the 15-year anniversary was a couple days ago. For when the scandal was found out
Bounty Gate
in the
Saints.
offseason. Yep.
And I was like, because I was watching the game and I'm like, hey, we're doing anything different than because I'm like, I watched a lot of Packers players like AJ Hawk, dude. Like, I watched that dude do some dangerous things to some dudes because he's slower. So when he catches up to you, he's going grabbing you from behind. And he wrestled, so he would just I'm like, oh man, your Achilles he was a walking Achilles because the way that he rolled back on your ankles. So I'm like, if they're doing it, I'm like,
we might.
Questionable.
It was a time kind of everyone.
Like Tramon Williams kind of made a career, getting his hands to the face of the wide receivers, poking guys in the eye.
I think maybe the Saints just got caught.
I think it was that. Next
play. Oh, sorry, we both clicked it. You got it. Get that off.
That roar of the crowd has to be addicting, dude. You make a move like that, dude, and you hear him cheering, you're like, oh yeah. And then you make a cut across the middle and you get open and you're extra
you
level.
Just see nothing but green grass and end zone in the front of you.
And I know when you play sport, because I remember I played in some pretty big baseball games. Like you don't even really pay attention, some pretty big crowds. You don't even really, you're so locked in, dude. Like you really don't. but like at the same time, like when you're playing so free, like some of these guys are, you hear that, dude. And when you get to that next level and you hit that little in cut, and that crowd goes from like one level to the, I bet that's the most addicting thing ever,
For
dude.
real.
Oh yeah.
And then being able to hear that.
Yeah. Because I had a
no
game winning
like
hit. It was
it.
just a game winning hit up the middle. That I think there's probably like 50 people at this baseball game. And just like that sound of like a game winning hit, I was like, oh dude, like and it's like 50 just regular people from the neighborhood, you know what I mean? Like nobody important. Maybe some coaches from some other teams scouting. But like the fans wise, like it's just like family and friends.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, oh yeah, dude, like people
That-
throwing
it
water.
feels
I was like,
nice.
hell yeah. It
That
feels
feels
good.
nice.
I bet that's just gotta be
Yeah.
75,000
Yeah, like
people.
70,000 people. bro.
Playoffs, you make a cut, you're in the middle, you're winning by 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
That's got to be electric, dude. I can't even imagine.
Can't even imagine.
I can see why players get addicted to it and then go off the rails when they don't have it. I can see it. Next.
Next
What do we
and
got?
final play.
Here's a play, nothing but special teams. Now getting a big roll. Daniels going deep to the end zone. It is. Is it picked? It is. Intercepted by Quinyon Mitchell. His first NFL interception.
Guantanamo Bay is going to be crazy.
Shout out
For
first
years to
interception
come.
of his career. You get the shout out of the week.
That's
And why
shout
not?
out
Let's
of
just
the
give
week.
them the top play. I mean, they won by 20. You get a pick
Oh, yeah.
in the playoffs. I mean, it would be easy to give. We've given how many top plays of the week to Saquon?
For real.
5 this
Too
year?
many.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
obviously,
think
the
he's got
reverse
the-
He
spin
deserves
move,
it.
He's got the top
He's
play of
deserved.
the
He
year.
He deserves it.
Like
for sure.
top play of the NFL season. They're like you're not beating that play. That was superhuman. what he did.
Superhuman. It will live
Insane.
in infamy. That play.
Absolutely.
Will
insane.
anybody ever be able to recreate that? I don't know.
Absolutely not.
Unless we somehow like let the first like human gorilla hybrid,
Because
human
up until that
kangaroo
point, like a flip
hybrid play.
spin, something like that, like AJ Green, he cleared a guy front flip, land in the end zone, like on like some
Nah,
gymnastics.
that wasn't AJ Green. That was Jerome Simpson.
It was.
Was
Yep.
it? I
It
thought
was-
AJ
They
Green.
both just wore 88.
No.
It was. It
It
was
89.
just.
It was 89.
It was 89. Yeah.
He was
89.
He was like Timu AJ Green before AJ Green got there.
He said
Yep.
Timu AJ Green. I love it.
He
dude.
was.
I love it, Mercury.
Bro,
He pretty much was. They were pretty
It's
much
true.
the same like build, same style of receiver. I remember seeing that as well, like live, just learning, like being young, watching football,
'Cause
watching that.
It was
play.
still the Bengals, right?
yeah,
was the
yeah, it was
Bengals,
the
yeah.
Bengals.
I think Carson Palmer was still the QB technically.
Shout out Carson
Yeah.
Palmer.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Red Rocket who threw that ball.
It might have been.
Could have been.
Dude, talk about Marvin Lewis. How is he not a coach? That guy's took some mediocre Bengals teams
There.
to like double digit
Low-key.
wins.
What's he even doing right now?
He's just
Why isn't
Hanging
that
out.
guy on the college football committee?
he's just on his couch, I think.
College football committee. Like
He's, like,
that's
on his
another
couch
day-
and- or,
yeah,
like,
true.
The
coaching
guy
this-
gets crapped on. He only took the Bengals to like multiple playoff runs.
Bro, he had AJ Green
Gets
and
crapped on
that
'cause
was
you
it.
gotta
It
blame
was
somebody.
He was
And Vontez Perfect for a little
Yep.
run.
You got to blame somebody. That's why he gets crapped on.
It's
True.
rough. And then you're going to play Baltimore, Ed Reed, countless Hall of Famers in
the
that division.
Steelers
play that
were
twice a
still
year, dude.
Ben
stacked.
Roethlisberger,
Well,
all
and
those
then
guys.
They kept running into the Texans in the first round with prime JJ Watt,
JJ Watt.
and the offensive line was
Yep.
dog crap.
Yeah.
And JJ
They
Watt
just-
just,
just teed off.
abused
Yeah,
Andy
literally.
Dalton. dude.
Mario Williams, when they had that pass rusher, always used to give him.
Oh
fits.
yeah,
Yeah.
Dude.
Saints hit up Marv. Come on, boys.
for real.
Buddy.
Marv.
Well,
I don't think anybody's done
that's a good transition
really any more with less talent around him.
into the head coaching vacancies here. New Orleans,
Yeah, good call.
only team without one.
The worst job ever. You know that
Yeah.
video where Shannon Sharp is like, for 50 million,
You
I'll go
play
to hell.
to win the
I hope
game.
whoever gets hired to the Saints has
Right
seen that
now-
video and just has that burned into their head.
For the
It's gonna be
Saints,
tough.
it looks like the front runners are Joe Brady, Kellen Moore,
We're not hiring
and
him either.
Mike McCarthy, maybe.
Possibly.
I would
be
see
upset
Mike
with
McCarthy.
that.
Why
because
is the
I would be
Giants
upset with that.
offensive coordinator why are they interviewing that guy? Correct me if I'm wrong. The Giants offense was
Stinks.
dog crap. And you're not getting that much of a more of a talented roster with New Orleans. How would he make that work? I don't know.
That would be awful.
I think I want to talk about what I
Terrible.
think was the worst head coaching hire in the league so far. I have no idea
It's not Declan Doyle,
what the hell they're doing.
the Chicago Bears.
Huh?
The Chicago Bears.
Not the Bears.
No,
It is
even
the
worse.
Dallas-
The
even
Dallas
Oh
Cowboys.
yeah, I forgot about that.
They
You're
just
gonna
hired
go
their offensive
Brian Schottenheimer, dude. He wasn't even calling plays. He was Mike McCarthy's assistant, picking up
Yeah.
his dry cleaning.
What's up, Joel? Welcome back to the studio.
Joel's back. He's got food
Trent's
for us.
back.
That's
Got some
nice.
food.
Deion Sanders would have been a better head coaching hire than this.
Kellen
Your
Moore.
offense was incredibly average this year.
Yeah.
Like, why
I mean,
would you?
The lineage of the Schottenheimer name in the NFL, somebody who understands
Right.
the program, kind of young guy, bring it in. But not now. They're calling it Dave Camp. When I was a kid, the Cowboys were awful. They had this dude named Quincy Carter's their they were on Hard Knocks, and their head coach was Dave Campo, and they were awful. He was like an assistant special teams guy. He grew up with Jerry Jones and went to Arkansas and college with him. Made him the football head coach. I think they won like 3 games. And like they're calling it this like all over again. It's like we're gonna have like 2. He's like, hey, at least we'll have like some top picks coming up, and we can get out of cap hell, and it'll be easy to trade Dak Prescott and some of these guys. But he's like, well, what does this spell for Micah Parsons? Are you gonna stick around with this regime?
I doubt
I
it.
doubt it.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. If you're good, I mean, Zach Martin came out of retirement this last year to play for you, so he's gone. He ain't coming back to play for this.
Yeah, no. This is sinking ship, and he's
Ezekiel
going to get
Elliott?
off of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
because he's a star on that team. That I think a team that's going to make a playoff push can throw him some dollars because he's an elite right tackle, right guard. One of the best in the NFL, perennial Pro Bowler. So I don't
Dallas, like this was, I mean, this might be a tank year for them,
dude.
They're
And the
minus.
Commanders are good.
They're like minus 900,000 in cap, so they don't have like a. They're gonna have to restructure. I don't
Yeah,
think they're gonna
basically,
have a
I mean.
ton of cap money though.
No, I mean Ezekiel. They only signed a lot of guys like 1-year deals.
And it's just like
Parsons needs a contract. He's going to be an upcoming free agent.
there's a lot of holes on the defense, on the offense. Yeah, like you're gonna have to replace guys like Zach Martin. Like, how do you do that? That dude's made more Pro Bowls than he's got holding penalties. Like, that's not something you can just replace. Outside of CD Lamb, like, what are you gonna do running back wise? Rico Dowdle, he's gonna be a free agent.
And he went and got 1,000
I just-
yards for him as a free agent.
To me,
They're gonna
this
have to
seems
pay
like a
him
very
more.
tanky pick. Like,
Totally.
we're
Somebody
like
that you know is gonna have a
Schottenheimer.
bad record.
Maybe he'll
have another
surprise you
year, couple
and
years.
make it work with a bad roster because I don't think this roster is going to be good. I just don't think they
I'm
have
with you.
the amount of capital
Tough NFC.
and resources to make enough significant changes to make this team competitive, especially when you're in the division with the Eagles and the Commanders.
And
now.
the NFC East plays the NFC North this year.
I'd say
The
pretty
Cowboys are
early
going to have a tough
prediction,
one, dude.
Battle for the number 1 picks, probably Saints and Cowboys are probably going to be pretty.
I could
close
see them
with
both
that.
having top 5 next year, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't.
Definitely in the mix for
Well,
Arch Manning
is
or
Derek Carr going to come
something.
back?
We have him on contract until like the next 2 years, so I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we're already losing a bunch of our younger guys, so we're in a pretty tough spot. We're paying a lot of people that aren't even on the team. It's like a combined $48.5 million are going to Michael Thomas, Marshawn Lattimore, and Derek Carr. One of those guys is still playing. If he can even muster half a year,
Just don't run. Just don't run. Put the brakes on him, dude. Stand here and just get slaughtered in the pocket because we can't block
Yeah.
anybody. We have no offensive line. You guys drafted an offensive line like first round, second round from Purdue a couple years back.
Oh, Trevor Penning.
Penning, yeah,
He
yeah.
sucks,
Oh, he's
dude.
awful, dude.
He's like pretty solid in the run game, but in the pass game, it's like wow, you just
barbecue
see,
chicken.
yeah,
He came out to Green Bay for when we did the dual practices. It was the last year. It was his rookie year, but it was the last year with Peyton as your coach.
oh yeah,
His rookie season. You guys came out to Green Bay for like those practice back-to-back or
Joint
whatever.
practices?
Joint practices.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. And oh, man, it was
Yeah.
some of the videos from Green Bay because he tried to fight like Rashawn Gary, and Rashawn Gary like suplexed the guy at practice.
That dude
That was the
gets
last time Green Bay had to
beat
try
down.
practice. We haven't really
Yeah.
done the back-to-back because that
All right.
incident with Penning.
Another coaching hire. Jim, you've given your thoughts on this, but the Bears hiring Ben Johnson.
Fluky.
I mean,
It's the bright, shiny object in the corner.
I don't like him going to an in-division opponent because
Yeah.
who are you going to have to play twice a year? Guys that have seen the Ben Johnson offense a lot. And I think that's your biggest hump
Yeah.
is trying to get over other people in your division.
Yeah.
I would have liked for them to bring somebody from the outside, like Joe Brady, something like that. I think an offensive head coach like Ben Johnson, Caleb has displayed some good arm talent. He needs to work a lot with the trainer about being more
Footwork,
accurate
dude.
and his
It's a
footwork. Yeah.
His windup is not an NFL. Like he takes 5 seconds. It's a Byron Leftwich.
Right. Like he's got he needs to be willing to put in a lot of work with a trainer in the offseason and clean up a lot of the stuff. There were some good raw talent plays that I saw, but there's a lot to clean up.
Stuff.
He's got to work on getting rid of the football quicker too.
Totally.
I will say the Bears, what they're doing well, you bring in an offensive guru, and then
Is he a guru?
I mean, I would say so. The Lions have the number one offense in the NFL.
Did they have the number one offense, or they have the number one? They had a lot of veteran players, pretty good.
Yeah,
He was
but
a tight ends coach with Vegas before he was all of a sudden thrusted with the most.
I'm just looking at the success. I know it
Yeah.
wasn't
I don't know
Dan
if it was
Campbell
number
calling
one
those
seed.
plays.
I mean, Joe Tooney, kind of the guy over there from what the players were saying. A lot of infighting with Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell. I mean, the media
Look,
guys know
I
that
don't-
stuff. I mean, he's not being interviewed, but Tooney is, and Dan
And
Campbell
Jimmy-
is.
The point I'm just trying to make, the Bears are probably going to find a way to mess this up.
Oh no,
They will. I'm just saying
Their
they're
offensive
copying
coordinator's Declan Doyle.
they're copying the formula that has been working well for a lot of teams, which is you have a
Yeah.
offensive minded guru as your head coach, and then a defensive
caller as your
coordinator
head coach,
that
yeah.
was a former head coach.
Mhm.
It's been a lot of the playoff teams have that formula. I mean, Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, Dan Quinn, and Cliff Kingsbury. I know he's offensive side of the ball, but Dan Quinn's the defensive guy. Kingsbury,
it's still
former
there.
head coach.
It's
Sean
valid.
Payton, Vance Joseph. Role
He's-
as a coordinator.
for a couple teams,
Yeah.
and done pretty good.
So,
I get it.
it's the
I
right-
understand the hire.
It's the right
It's the
idea.
wrong person.
Yeah, and I don't think the Bears are gonna
And you're not
execute it
running
properly.
that offense after November. Because one, the field is owned by the Chicago Park District. High school teams play on that field year round. So you don't own the field that you're playing on. So you're not spending money on the field. You're not playing that style of offense in a dome
Right.
on the lake in November. It's not happening.
All right, I'm gonna cut you off because I want to cover a couple more things, and we're limited time. And if we let you
what time it is.
we let you go on the Bears, that's the rest of
Oh,
the
it's
show.
the rest of the
So,
show. Yeah, stop me. Declan
The
Doyle era is starting in Chicago.
the Jaguars, real rocky start to
What
their
was that
head coach.
about?
I think he wanted Trent Baalke fired. I don't think Liam Cohen wanted to take the job if Trent Baalke was the GM.
And Balky's gone.
Right, because they were gonna keep him on, and Cohen backed out, and then they fired Baalke, and then
He signed back on.
he signed back on.
And
So,
that made Tampa Bay mad.
yeah,
Got
And
it.
I don't like how there's already drama there.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
that's-
Liam Cohen,
I don't even know what that is.
Baker played really well under him.
Yeah,
Career
and-
year, I'd say.
and everybody plays good with Mike Evans.
Is that going to translate for T-Law? I don't know. I'm not real confident on this one. Pete Carroll to the Raiders.
Tough.
They don't have a whole lot there. I mean, he's just
What do you
It's
do?
just a solid hire, though.
Solid
It's
hire.
just solid.
right. He
Try to help.
He can maintain the
Kind
course.
of a
If he sucks,
terrible-
you can fire him, no problem.
kind of a
Yeah.
terrible situation to come on. He just wants to make Jim Harbaugh's life hell. So
Yeah, they
I
got beef,
Right?
man.
Oh,
I
man, they
respect
do have
that.
beef. They do have beef
Yeah.
going back to Stanford when Jim Harbaugh was there.
Way back.
Aaron Glenn to the
remember.
Jets. Another one where I'm like, I mean,
Motivational
I guess
guy,
the
gonna get
Jets,
your
the
hopes
defense
up.
that he's going to want to play, I think plays well into the Jets' strong suit,
Especially
where it's like a
with
lot of
Sauce.
blitzing and man
DBs,
coverage. Yeah,
being a DB, he'll be able to identify with
Exactly.
being played there. I kind of like it. We'll see. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers will be back.
right.
And who's the
It's
GM?
another situation where it's like I
Who's the
don't know.
GM? I don't know who they hired.
They hired the Broncos assistant
Okay.
general
All right.
manager.
I guess that isn't too bad.
So yeah, it's not terrible. You might be losing Garrett Wilson in the trade. I know Darren Mogi, I think is how you say his name. That's who they hired.
Tough.
Kind of a tough situation for Aaron Glenn on the offensive side of the ball. I think he'll be able to make the defense work, kind of be similar to what Saleh did, but I think it'll just be the same problem.
So now it's just the Saints, the job that's open.
They're the only
Yeah.
one left.
They're the only one left.
No one else is trying to coach. I don't.
Bill's
We'll
gotta
see what happens with Tomlin. What might happen with McDermott.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Nobody on the NFC side, maybe, but outside of LaFleur, might be in trouble for playoff failures. But we'll see.
I would agree with that, brother.
But we've reached the end of our show there. Little
We
update
love
on the
you.
NFL
Thank you.
coaching carousel. Thanks so much, everyone watching.
Thanks for
We'll be
watching,
back Wednesday for the normal show with a bigger sports breakdown. Let's get into it, fellas.
All that, much more on NPR.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.